Thank you so much for being all here tonight, and we are at the end of our long run of Warda. It's been a ride, guys. It's been a good long ride. But we have brought our A game for this very last one. We have brought some of the best voices I know of here in the city, and we're gonna play through one last adventure in the city of Warda. For those of you that are new, Warda is Downton Abbey meets Game of Thrones that flirts with Agatha Christie a little bit, you know, on the side. And we are all here tonight. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Good to be back.
Yeah, good. Yeah, welcome back, Embrilar. And we have some wonderful new voices and wonderful new faces here tonight. So let's go around and say your real name, who you're playing, and what you are. And let's start over here with a familiar face, the one, the only, Justin Blankenship.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be back. Good to see you all again. Through the, I can actually see all of you. Actually, you all look fantastic. I'm playing Embrilar Ardeo. I'm a half gene of Friddy. I am still a warden, a magic cop. Magic cop. Although I have been promoted, I am now chiefed. So remember, Corrigan Vance was chiefed. I am now in his position. So to show that time has passed.
Indeed.
Yes.
It has been 9 years since the end of Curiosities for your character.
9 years.
Yeah.
A lot's happened.
Yeah. Did you ever marry Fennell? Did that go
I
through?
did. Me and Fennell are married. We've been happily married for 9 years.
Any kids?
None yet.
None yet?
No, we're enjoying being married, enjoying being together before we get kids.
You don't want to rush it.
You don't want to rush
You
it.
don't.
I mean, 8 years is
Nothing
blink
to
of an
a
eye,
fay.
really.
Nothing to a fay. Although because I am a half gene and she is a full gene, she is kind of like, well, we should probably think more sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And she makes a compelling argument, but you know.
Of your death?
Yes.
It's
that is a polite way of saying it. Yes.
very nice. And some of our wonderful voices tonight, Mel Fox.
Hello. Yes, very excited. Boy, I'm really excited because this is my first time playing Warda. Tonight, I will be playing the part of Astrid Swent. She is a Sylvani, and she is a peony.
Very nice.
Do you want more details?
Yeah, what's your job? What do you do?
My job is a greensmaster. I tend the ivory glade.
That's
For the
right.
Seelie.
Yes, she personally tends the ivory glade for the Seelie. So pretty high up there in the world, and she's fabulous. She's beautiful and amazing. And to my left, Pranks Paul.
Salutations.
I am Pranks Paul. This is also my first time in Warda. I am Tearworth, fairy servant to the esteemed Master Wooshire. I believe that is all that you need to know about me. I will let my gentleman speak.
Thank you very much. I am James D'Amato, and I will be playing Percy Wooshire, Johnny Socialite.
Very nice.
As for what I do and what my job is, who has time for a job these days with all the parties and social gatherings and all of that rather rummy thing a job is? Yeah. All right.
Well
Bully.
done. Oh, well done, gentlemen. Welcome to Warda, everyone. As we said before, it is 9 years after Curiosities, which makes this year 4813, and it is the year before Winds of Change starts. So we are just a year away from when Winds of Change begins. Any announcements? Let's see here. Anything you want to say, Allie? Anything on your end?
Just that we're really happy to have everybody tuned in tonight. Thank you guys for taking time out of your busy lives to support us on the stream and hang out with us on our final stream tonight. We are still working towards our Patreon milestone goal of $300 a month. When we reach that, we're very, very close. When we reach that, we will be releasing the Winds of Change audio to the Patreon patrons first, and then it will be filtered into the podcast when the timeline matches up. So help us get there by supporting us. Any donation, any level of patronage is welcome, and we're happy to have you guys here as we continue to build Warda forward, make the podcast better, and hopefully, as the Patreon continues to grow, we'll be able to bring new equipment to the stream and start up a live stream of our own once we've moved. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Let's see what else. Oh, speaking of thank yous, we got to thank Allie, who's on the ones and twos tonight. Thank you, Allie.
It's me.
We have to thank all of you for being in the chat tonight, so thank you very much. Got to thank these wonderful people for being here, because without you guys, it's just me alone in a basement rolling dice. It's weird. We also got to thank the One Shot Podcast Network for letting us use all this wonderful stuff, because without you guys, we'd be in an alleyway throwing dice.
Yeah, without One Shot, none of us would be here.
That's not the best place to play a role-playing
No,
game,
it's
Drew.
not. It's not.
Don't knock it till you try it.
That's why we're very glad that we're able to have this. So thank you so much for that. And we also got to thank Carolina Gaming Table for everything they've done.
Carolina
Thank you so
Gaming
much.
Table.
Without you, we're just on the floor. And with all of the thank yous out of the way and all the business out of the way, shall we get to one of our favorite segments, Getting to Know You. Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. During Getting to Know You, we like to speak to our characters and ask them a particular question and learn a little bit about them before we jump into this one shot for you guys. So we're going to start with the standard question of give us a like, give us a dislike. We'll go around and do that, and then we'll do our full-on question, which was given us by our patrons this week. So, Embrilar, give us a new like and dislike for you.
Ooh. All right. So, a new like. I'm going to change it. It's not a like, it's a love.
Oh, it's a love.
It's a love.
Okay. Ooh.
I love waking up in the morning and making cups of coffee for me and Fennell.
Oh.
I absolutely love that. She likes hers with 3 sprays of sunshine.
Oh, very nice.
Because she's,
Yeah. She's a plant.
she's a plant. So, and then I just take mine with a little bit of spice.
Very nice.
Yeah. But a thing that I dislike, and it's ironic, I dislike, now that I'm a chief, and I have to deal with everything that Corgan Vance had to deal with in his position. I'm having to deal with all these responsibilities. It's not the responsibilities that I dislike. It's having to deal with wardens that were similar to me.
Oh.
So now I see everything. There has been growth.
Yeah.
I'm not like hard on any of them, and I don't like. It's more of like I see everything that I did, and I'm like, wow, Corgan Vance was really such an amazing person to deal with all of my shenanigans.
Oh, your smish.
All of my smish.
Sleeping in the break room.
That couch is amazing.
It is
With Fennell.
Okay, I never slept on the couch with Fennell. That was on the floor.
All right.
Suspicious sip.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please tell us, Astrid, a like and dislike that you have.
Oh my. One of my greatest likes, perhaps even a love, is a good window seat with good sunshine flowing in. A dislike is a grievously overtrimmed plant. It's terrible when they overtrim it. It just stifles all the beauty out of it.
Thank you very much.
Quite welcome.
Percy, give us a like and a dislike.
Well, I think you can't like anything more than a nice whiskey and soda after a long day of having a day. Just, it's nice to sit back on an easy armchair and sip and think about all the things that you've done with your day. And as far as dislikes, I would have to say aunts.
Aunts?
Yes.
Who is your aunt?
Now, I don't want to say that I dislike my aunt. More so that I dislike the concept of aunts and the power with which they can hold over a person. You know, aunts are very powerful creatures, very easy to upset, very easy to disappoint. Even when one is not trying to disappoint an aunt, one finds oneself in precarious positions. Don't you see? And I would have to say that, yes, perhaps I don't dislike aunts. I dislike incensed aunts.
Ah, yes.
Provoked aunts.
Good qualifier.
Like a bull. I appreciate a good bull from a distance.
Yes.
But when you're in the pen and it's charging right at you with those terrible horns, goodness no.
Little known fact, Percy's aunt is Irene? It's Irene, correct?
Yeah. Oh, so you've heard of her. Yes. Irene.
Irene Fleet.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Irene Fleet.
Irene Fleet.
Yes.
Yes.
Who is the wife of Jardine Fleet, who is head of all wardens in the city.
The Honorable Jardine.
Oh, the Honorable Jardine Fleet, yes. And that is, yeah, that's a thing. And finally, your phase fairy. What does your phase fairy like and dislike, sir?
Oh, I must confess, I have something of a weakness for dishes of the ichthyoid variety. I quite enjoy the pianoforte, walking about in gardens. It's the sort of pursuits that improve oneself.
And a good improving book. It's always going on about improving books. I've
Indeed,
got
sir.
stacks of them sitting next to my chair. Stacks.
And what do you dislike, sir?
Strawberries.
Strawberries.
I must confess, I have an aversion to strawberries.
Really? That's good to know. It's good to know.
Strange.
indeed. And our big question that was given by our Patreon patrons this week was, I'm going to say if I know this, what is the most egregious breach of etiquette you have ever witnessed? And again, we'll start with Embrilar.
So, there's a thing that I didn't mention earlier, but it's a thing that is starting to happen that I've noticed in Warda, especially in my district. On my way to work, I wouldn't say it's a thing that has happened once. It happens every day. There is this group of people, of Fae, that are insisting upon having their pixies following them around, blasting their music, with no silencing spells around them. I have to listen to it. So I have to, on my way to work, if I'm riding a dire goat taxi, or if I'm on the bus, I have to hear this music out loud. And one of the most times in particular, I was actually sitting outside talking to a suspect. Or less a suspect now, at the time they were a suspect, it was a person who was just a person of interest in an ongoing case. And a person walked by blaring a cover of a song, Friday.
Friday.
Yes, it was a horrible song by this woman that we all remember. You remember that popular song by Rebecca Block?
Yes, Friday, as in the deep frying of foods.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
And
like-
her song was absolutely horrible, and this pixie walked by blaring their awful cover of it. It was out of tune. I hated it.
It's an egregious breach of contract.
Exactly.
And etiquette. Astrid, what is your most egregious breach of etiquette you've ever seen?
You know, the younger plants these days, the younger Sylvani, have rather taken to pruning themselves in public. Which is,
Pruning themselves in public?
yes, it's just terrible, just picking bits off of themselves and just throwing it in the street. And I'd very much dislike it. It's gross. You have to walk on it.
It's
No
terrible.
one, they can't clean it up fast enough. They're just dropping it all over the streets.
Youths this day.
Ugh.
Terrible. Percy, egregious breach of etiquette.
Well, a man in my position, even being at the upper echelon of society, you do see from time to time the social breaches, you were to say. I do recall a time when my good friend Ruby, who had a penchant for chorus girls, went...
My apologies, sir.
Right. I can't think of a thing.
Oh, very well then. And you, sir, your most egregious breach of etiquette you've ever seen.
Most egregious breach of etiquette.
Oh dear.
Present company excluded?
Present company excluded, sir.
Don't see why that should factor into one thing or another.
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, excellent. Very well then. With that getting to know you, shall we jump into it? All right. You want to jump? All right, we're gonna jump. On three.
How rummy!
All right, 1, 2, 3. And we've jumped in. Anyway, so we begin in the city of Warda, in the second ward, as it were. It's a beautiful, dazzling morning in first spring. We'll say it's the second span of first spring. And as the light spills over the city, and in this beautiful, beautiful ward, we are immediately met with Astrid. She is waking up for the day. Tell us, Astrid, give us one thing you do as part of your morning routine.
Oh, I always spend perhaps too much time standing in a stream of water to rinse myself off.
So we are brought to Astrid waking up for the morning, spending her time in her stream of water, and getting dressed for the day, but all of her maids going around and dressing her. And we are, as she goes downstairs of her beautiful mansion, it comes upon various fairies and humans cleaning up after the party that happened last night. What was the party that happened last night?
Oh, something about my engagement, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Engagement to who?
Oh, boy.
Whom? I'm terribly sorry.
What was his name? Percy?
Percy?
That-
This Percy?
Well, yes. Yes, that's the man, yes.
Oh, so you are engaged to Percy Wooshire.
Yes, that is correct.
Persevius.
Persevius. Persevius.
Master Wooshire.
I'm terribly sorry. Master Wooshire. You're excellent.
Yes.
Was it a good party last night? Was it?
Oh, I'd say so, yes. There were lots of flowers, lots of Sylvania, lots of my compatriots in the greens industry.
Oh, excellent. And we are met with this beautiful party that we see, and we see everyone cleaning up for it. And we see you go downstairs and go into your office. And Astrid, in your office, you have a vault. Now, it's a smaller vault, but you walk up to it, you place your hand over it, sacred geometry is drawn around your hand, and it opens. And it opens, and you raise it out of it. And you have a seal, a stamp that is brought directly from the Sealy. And what does this stamp do? What does this stamp do for you?
This stamp is awfully important. It allows me to do my job, truly. It is directly a gift from the dare that allows me to requisition supplies for my garden.
And as you bring up this inner vault to grab your seal and begin your day, you find it gone.
That can't be right.
Put it away. Bring it back up. It is gone.
Still gone. Well, that's no good.
What's your first reaction? What's the first thing you do?
I immediately begin to search my office in case I decided to requisition things in a haze of party last night.
And I believe an hour goes by. You can't find anything. 2 hours go by. You cannot find anything. 3 hours go by, and you cannot find anything.
I am now panicking.
And as you panic and run about the room, your head maid, she comes and goes, Mistress, what's wrong?
My seal is missing.
And with that, the screen goes dark, and we go to the intro. And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. If you want to see that intro, we've seen it a ton of times, but if you want to see it, we will put a link to it in the chat so you can go and see it.
And if you're going to say welcome back, might as well do another take of that if you wanted to edit it in.
Yes.
Pretend like nothing bad ever
Yeah, welcome back. And let's jump into it. So, it is the morning after this party. And what is everybody doing? We know what you're up to. Panicking, absolutely in a panic, but what does your morning routine look like, Percy?
So Percival likes to get up at the crack of 11. He really wants to challenge himself to, meet the day when it's in full swing. He's heard of this getting up early thing, and he says that doesn't give the day a chance to get a head start on you. But Percy is in a bit of a mood today. He's a bit down. He is back in his flat. He had a late night last night. And he's awake. His breakfast has been served to him, but he is being very obviously in a mood. So he is sitting in the chair at his kitchen table, or his morning dining table.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where exactly you would sit if it was a morning mealtime in this setting, but he's sitting at the socially appropriate place to sit, and sighing to himself loudly, hoping to prompt action from somewhere else.
Gliding in directly behind Percy, which is very impressive because you didn't know that there was actually a door there. A vision just appears behind you, and it is your gentleman's fairy with a plate of your absolute favorite pastries, eclairs, and there is a mystery concoction that you have seen many, many times that he has put in exactly the top left of the tray. He is holding the tray, and then he looks down at you, and he notices that you haven't dressed for breakfast. And then he looks down at your slippers, which are still on, your bedroom slippers, as opposed to your house slippers, which are still on. And then he looks at your expression, sort of to himself, decides this is not the time, and then sets the tray down in front of you and says, "Your repast, sir."
We've really done it now this time, haven't we, Tearworth?
Indeed, sir.
It's really happening, isn't it?
A most auspicious occasion, to be sure.
We're going through with the whole thing. There's no last-minute scheme. We've had a party about it. There's been a party. Drinks have been drunk. Food has been eaten. Music played. It's like a nail in the coffin.
I hesitate to remind you, sir, that we have gone through many similar parties in the past.
Oh, no, we have not. We have not, Tearworth, been through similar parties. Did you not sense the mood at that party? Like a wake. I could see the very face of my bachelorhood staring up at me from some morbid display where people placed flowers and gifts in all sorts of colorful wrappings.
The proceedings did have something of the funereal about them, sir.
Then you noticed it. You must have. You must know that this is it. This is fate. I, Percy Wooshire, am to be wed. And there's no way out of it. My aunt, smiling her smug smile, will be sitting there from the groom's side of the whole grim affair, watching me condemned to a life of matrimonial bliss.
A most unfortunate visage, to be sure.
Oh, heavens. God forbid. Perhaps the dare will do me a good turn and strike me down by a pedicab or some other vehicle.
One can only hope, sir.
Excellent. And as you are sitting there enjoying your morning meal and drink, in comes a pixie. I have a message from Lady Swent. Who am I to give it to?
I hold up a hand, and then I glide out of the room with a nod at my employer, where we go into the messenger room. There's still some decorum in this home, humble as the flat may be.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. Terribly sorry.
Very well. What is it?
There's a message from Lady Swent. She would like Master Percy to come to lunch, if that is possible, or late supper.
Madam Swent is aware that Master Percy takes his lunch no sooner than 2:30 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Very well. I shall prepare the gentleman.
Thank you, sir. Shall I have any message for her ladyship?
Please inform him that his lordship will be along shortly.
Excellent, excellent, sir. And
I tip you generously.
the pixie. Thank you, sir. And he takes the Lara, which is about as big as this, and they have holes in it, so they put them over their necks, and he flies away.
I watch the pixie leave, and then I like get this long suffering look on my face, and then I reset my expression, and then I straighten up, and then I glide back into the room.
I am dejectedly stirring my hash and eggs together and mournfully drinking the mysterious concoction.
Excellent. And we'll jump over to Embrilar. Embrilar, what are you and Fennell doing this morning?
Sleeping.
When you wake up, what do you do?
Oh. Discuss if we can go back to sleep. I don't have to work. She doesn't have to work.
Oh yeah, you're on a vacation.
Yeah, we're on vacation, so we're kind of just enjoying just laying in bed.
How was the party last night?
It was very nice. As you can probably guess, Embrilar is. I've been to galas. I've been to balls. I've been to parties. They're not my forte. It just gives me a sort of PTSD of growing up as a kid under Luminessa and my father and my mother, having to deal with all of that and trying to pretend and be something you're not. So, and putting on airs, and it's something that I'm not a fan of. But I've met Astrid before. She did, as she is a green seeker, of course, she did the greenery at the Ardeo estate. My mother would not have anything less than the best. And of course, I came for Fennell. Fennell wanted me to come, and of course I was going to go. Give me a reason to step out of work. So we're kind of just laying in bed. There's no coffee around. I see. Are we at the estate, or are we at like a nearby?
That's
flat?
up to Astrid. Is your friend staying with you in your estate, or are
Oh,
they?
yes, my dear friend Fennell.
Yes.
Absolutely. She'd have a room anytime she pleased.
Excellent. So you are staying at Lady Swent's estate.
Is there any sort of not necessarily room service? Would it be rude to call upon a servant or anything?
Oh,
of that
no, there's a
kind?
bell in each room.
Okay, cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Then I kind of roll over. I whisper for Mel. Would it be rude for me? Would it feel weird if I had someone else bring us our coffee this morning? I kind of want to.
Fennell rolls over. She's looking a little sleepy. Her like twigs are kind of off to the side.
I kind of like brush them out of her way.
And she looks at you and goes, "Do whatever you want. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
All right, okay.
I'm on vacation." And she like rolls over.
And I kind of sit there and I go. I kind of just sit up a little bit, fluff the covers out, and kind of just think to myself, I'm having breakfast in bed today. And I reach over and go, ding.
So you ring the bell, and no one comes.
I examine the bell. I pick it up and I look underneath it.
There's a ringer in it.
All right, okay. I reach over and I poke. Wait, no, I don't have to. No, Fennell would know. I would know. I grew up with a bell in the room. I wait the appropriate amount of time. I wait a minute. Ding.
A minute goes by, and no one comes.
All right, what's all in the room?
So the room is a four-post bed. There's a dresser. There's a vanity in it. There's there's a lot of windows, and beautiful windows that open out into her estate, which is mostly gardens. Which you can see. The sun is bright. It's a beautiful spring day, and your luggage is here in the room with you as well. There's a bathroom directly adjacent to you. Fennell rolls over and goes, "What's wrong?"
The bell's not working.
That's strange. And she like rolls over. She's like, "Go find out why."
Okay, sure. Is there anything you want for breakfast? Or should I just guess?
Guess.
Guess.
And she rolls over again.
Okay. and I kind of like I run my fingers through her twigs, and then stand back up.
Oh man.
Yeah, I stand up and I throw on a robe, and I shuffle on over, nursing a very slight hangover. Had a bit too many fire whiskeys the night before, and I open the door and stick my head out in the
And
hallway.
as you open it, the hallway is in an uproar of just there are people going back and forth and servants going, "Have you found it yet?" "No, we haven't found it." And there's so much going on. Obviously, there was a silent spell put on your door
of
last
course.
night. I believe Fennel did it. And you guys,
Smart woman. That's why I married her.
You guys, there's so much going on.
I grabbed the first passing fate. But pardon me. What's happening? What's going on?
It's a ferry, yes, sir. Yes.
What's going on? What's all the fuss?
Her ladyship is in distress, sir. In a lot of distress. She's missing something. Excuse me, and she runs away.
I grab the next fate. Boom! I grab it. Is this another fairy?
Yes, sir. What?
So I understand that her ladyship is missing something. What is she?
Her ladyship is missing something, sir. Yes, of course. Hand me. And he runs away.
All right. Okay.
I haven't found it yet.
I kind of just step back into the room and shut the door, and I re-put on the silencing spell.
And Fennel rolls over and looks up and goes, "What was that?"
Apparently, Astrid's missing something, and everyone is completely losing their smishing minds outside.
And before you're done with that sentence, she's up. She has her robe on. She's like, "If Astrid needs our help, she needs our help." She runs over. She grabs her thumb. She puts it back on. At one, Fennel had her thumb cut off. She has a mechanical thumb.
Yeah.
It's been actually Embrilar was the one who did it.
Cut off her thumb.
Yeah.
Is it green?
Yes, it is. It's painted green, and
It's on the edge. It's on the edge. Yeah.
and you guys leave the room to go.
What, after she puts it on, it's a ritual. It's tradition. She puts it on. I take it. I fasten it, and I give it a kiss.
Very nice. And you guys step out into the room to go find Lady Swent. And you two are just now arriving at Lady Swent's estate.
Before we arrive at Lady
Please,
Swent's
please.
estate, we need to pick out his outfit.
Oh, please. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I
all right.
didn't have anybody describe what you guys look like and what you're wearing. So let's just start with you guys. Please tell me what you look like. Tell me what you're wearing.
So Percy Wooshire is currently standing, waiting for his clothes to be brought to him. He is a devilishly handsome man with azure skin and a face adorned with sweet white freckles. He has brilliant blue eyes. Nice, cool, sort of cloudy eyebrows and hair that swirls with a pale sky blue and cloud white. He has, a fairly nice build for a man who does not partake in any sort of the athletic and does not go in for long walks and has whiskey as his most healthful drink. But it all puts together to be an incredibly handsome fellow. And currently, what clothes are being brought to him?
Please.
Well, I imagine you're in your robe right now.
Yes.
And the person who is laying out carefully on Percy's bed, the clothes, is a taller gentleman, even taller than Percy, actually. How tall are you? You're like 5, or you're like 6'1"-ish?
Yes. How tall do Johnny usually run?
As tall as you'd like them to be.
He's 37 feet
tall. It's a giant house. They range between about 6 and 7 feet.
Okay, so I will say that he is a good 6'6".
Okay.
Very nice.
I am 6'10", and I am a middle-aged fairy, visibly so, with slicked back hair, tan complexion, sort of aquiline Roman nose, very serious mouth, impeccably dressed, right down to a watch chain, 3-piece suit, everything, constantly with a very tidy sort of towel in my hands. But at this moment, I'm currently laying out an outfit. And what Percy notices is this is the houndstooth, which you are familiar with, the houndstooth jacket. and there is also a nice pearl-ish shirt, because since we will be having lunch with her ladyship, I wanted you to pop. So I gave you the pearl shirt. I gave you what's like an animal that they would make leather out of in Warda?
Oh, I mean, there are cows. There are
a dire cow belt.
a dire cow. Oh man, there are dire cows. That is a thing. Giant cows out in the country. And continue.
So a dire cow belt with matching dire cow shoes, and some tasteful socks. And I've picked out a very nice lavender tie.
Thank you. So we have Percy sitting there, looking forward. I don't know what the world's coming to, Tearworth.
Indeed,
Being
sir.
summoned to a lunch. It's almost 12.
I'm
being summoned to a lunch.
The mind boggles, sir.
What are we to do? Sit around eating all day?
Surely not, sir.
No. And what's this? What happened to my teal tie?
Oh, as you'll recall, I thought it most unsuitable.
Yes, I do recall that. But what happened to it?
I believe that a mongrel hound of some sort might have made off with it.
And what, pray tell, Tearworth, could those two thoughts have to do with one another? If I asked you, where is my teal tie, and you had responded to me that a mongrel beast had made off with it, I would have my answer. But I instead asked you, where is my teal tie, and you saw fit to tell me that you found it unsuitable.
Indeed. Of course, I can only answer to the best of my ability, sir. I believe that it is both unsuitable and that it is possible a mongrel may have made off with it.
Well, I suppose a mongrel would be attracted to something unsuitable, but I quite liked my teal tie.
I couldn't agree with both of those sentiments more, sir.
Well, all right then. Percy, feeling that he has won that conversation, changes the subject and puts his arms out as the pixies in the room begin unbuttoning and dressing him up.
And the pixies are, for the record, purity, decency, and rectitude. And I would like to describe all of them if you have the time.
Please.
So, purity is a goldish yellow pixie, the smallest of the lot, with some very tasteful pearls in their hair. And Purity is currently putting your necktie on. Purity is currently putting your belt on. Rectitude is slipping your shoes on and tying them. Rectitude is a dark red. Rectitude is the most serious and the one that I get along with the best. And unfortunately, decency is also there. And decency is blue, and there have been some challenges with decency of late. Decency pipes up, "Young master, I have found your tie!" And Decency manages to waltz into the room with the tie in question.
Oh, what a rummy good situation this is! I thought I would never see this again. A mongrel beast! Ha! It must have run off with it and placed it in another room. Wonderful.
It
Wonderful.
would appear so, sir.
Then there's no need for this lavender number at all.
Very good, sir.
Now, Tearworth, last night, can you remember, was I in any sort of rare form?
I would imagine that sir was in much the same form as any engagement party.
Oh. Interesting. I just now realized being summoned to a lunch at the unearthly hour of noon might prompt me to a conversation that most would seem to find unfortunate, if you catch my meaning.
I believe so, sir.
I believe the day has turned around, and I won't be forced to enter wedlock with a objectively beautiful social better.
The young miss is certainly a very lucky woman, sir.
What other reason could anyone have to lunch at 12? So early.
To borrow a phrase, sir, the mind boggles.
Yes, and your mind capable of boggling more than most with all those neurons firing. Well, have the car summoned round, and we shall make this early lunch, and then perhaps I'll find a new fiancé by 2.
I'm walking out of the room backwards with my eyes transfixed on your tie, and like, it's all I can look at until suddenly I disappear from view. And then I guess we can cut directly to the carriage and then stepping out of that.
Excellent. So you summon a carriage, and the carriage comes, brings you guys around. It takes you to a teleportation station, where they teleport the entire carriage.
I would like to point out that the carriage drives a block to the teleportation station.
Yes, perfect. It is literally around the corner, and you guys drive there, and they teleport you to almost directly in front of her house. But you still go the 2 streets down in the carriage to get to her house, and to her estate. And you guys are standing outside, and you go ring the bell. And what is your butler's name? Oh my. So, oh my.
Sure.
Oh my is he's a fairy, a rather old fairy. And the door opens, and Oh my is standing there. Hello? Who is it?
Afternoon, chap.
Oh, Master Percy and Mr. I forget your name.
Tearworth, sir.
Tearworth. Yes, of course. Master Percy, Master Tearworth. And you two can see behind him, and there's a flurry of activity happening behind him. He's like, "You're here for lunch, correct?"
Yes, we were summoned for lunch.
Yes.
At 12. 12.
Reaches into his. He takes a painstakingly long time to reach into his pocket, pull out his watch, click it, wind it. You're on time. And he clicks it and puts it away. He says, "Please, come in.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Tywin." And you two enter into the house. And as we said before, there's a flurry of activity. There are maids and manservants everywhere. They've torn the place apart looking for things. You see one poor maid up to her hands in dirt, like digging through plants in the foyer. I imagine the foyer is like almost like an outdoor foyer.
It's an atrium.
Yeah, your atrium is like paved in grass.
Absolutely.
And has plants like growing everywhere. And you, what are you doing? What are you doing during all this commotion?
I believe I've found a fainting couch to swoon upon.
And it is at this fainting couch that Omai brings the two of you. And there you are. Please paint us the picture of you draped over this couch and what you are wearing today.
First of all, we've not discussed any of my look quite yet.
No,
Being
please.
of the sort of a peony, please Google it. It's a flower they call it the cabbage rose, and it's just a beautiful, large, you could hold it in the palm of 2 hands, flower, and so her hair is just a massive bud of petals draping down the back of her head. And as she lies there, you see her skin is quite pale with pink highlights, and her petals are also a light pink with a bit of a darker at the roots and lightening up as you reach the edges. She is wearing her normal work outfit, in which it is the top cropped to the shoulders, just to make sure she gets plenty of sun, so she can't cover herself too much. With a suit that goes into a pant down to very beautiful boots, and a skirt that latches in the front and drapes behind her. I drew a picture today. I don't know.
I'm going to tweet it.
Oh, you're going to tweet. Look at the tweet. It's very good. if you'd like an idea of how she looks today. And being in her work clothes and utterly devastated, she's found herself on the fainting couch in the atrium, one of her favorite places, in a sunbeam reaching down, and just draped.
Come.
Before you get up
Yes.
there, Tearworth glides directly like in between the two of you and says, "Madam, may I present Master Tearworth? These are the garments in which he has chosen to appear today." And then I disappear behind him.
She's paid no attention.
My dear, sweet Astrid, what could have you in such a state?
Oh, Percy, is that you?
Yes, my dear, it is your sweet husband-to-be, Persevius Wooshire.
Oh, thank goodness you're here. I'm in desperate need of help. I don't know what to do.
Desperate need of help.
Yes.
But what sort of help could I, your husband-to-be, offer you?
Well, you see, you're aware, my job as the Greens Master, I have a very special seal.
I have been reminded many a time about your job as the Green Master by Auntie Irene.
There's no need to get snippy with someone who is desperately upset at the moment.
All the servants stop.
My dear, I assure you, I meant no snippiness in my comment, just that your reputation does precede you with me, the person who is engaged to be your husband.
And they all go back to work.
I remind you, because of essential piece that allows me to do my work has gone missing.
What piece could that be?
The seal gifted to me by the Dare himself.
And that's when you and Fennel come in. And that is, you two step inside just as she says that.
So, it's been 9 years.
Uh-huh.
I look a little different.
Oh, yeah, please tell us how you look. How does he change?
My hair is longer now. It used to be short. Now it's long black hair. Comes down to like not quite all the way to my shoulders, but about like down to
Good
here.
collar.
Yeah, down to my collar. I now have a very small, a beard similar to yours.
Oh, thank
not
you.
a bit small, not as long, but a bit shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a slight scar on my cheek.
Very nice. Very nice.
I am wearing the robe that was very graciously placed in our room. It is a light green, but kind of reflects light just a little bit. So it has a slight shimmer to it.
Very
It is
nice.
very comfortable. It feels like I'm wearing air.
Fennel looks no different. She looks exactly the same. She's continued in the same colors and the same hairstyle. Maybe just a little bit longer in her twigs and greenery. But she comes in and she's also wearing the robe, but she rushes to you, Astrid, and steps between Percy and you, and like gets down and grasps your hand and goes, "Oh, Astrid, what's wrong?"
Oh, Fennel, you wouldn't believe. My seal is missing.
No.
What on earth could a marine dog have anything to do with your work?
Not seal. Not seal. Not the seal. No, like a seal.
Oh, like a stamp.
Yes, a stamp.
Well,
Like-
just ask for another one.
Or is it a seal?
I simply cannot ask for another one from the Dare himself.
No nonsense, Tearworth. Have one of the pixies ring up the dare.
Perhaps young master would be more comfortable taking a walk with me in the garden.
Tearworth, please correct him.
And I grab your arm and lead you into the direction of the garden where the bar is. And there's like a drink cart.
Are you passing by me?
Yeah.
As you're passing by me, I look at your tie and I'm like, that is a nice tie.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is it possible for me to take damage?
Sure. I want you to mark.
I would like to take mental stress.
Yeah, maybe take a mental stress. Take a mental stress for that. It's only we as the audience see it. It's the slightest. But we see it, and at home we all go, oh no.
It's probably the most facially demonstrative I've been in years.
Excellent. So you two head off towards the bar. She has a fully stocked bar. There is, just beyond the atrium, there is a garden. It's an indoor garden, basically. And inside of this garden, it's between two sycamore trees that she has grown. There is a bar that is out of tree-sung wood. So something you can't do, but something that some Sylvani can do. It's called tree singing, where they will sing wood into a shape. And, or tree speaking, either way. And it's a bar that's been spoken into a bar between these two sycamore trees. And so you guys have head off to the bar. While Fennell is sitting here, she's like, what can we do?
Where was the last, you saw it last night?
Yes, right.
Yes, Embrilar's wonderful at these type of things. He is the chief. You're in perfect hands.
Yeah, we will find it. We will find it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Do you remember seeing it last night?
Well, not at the party. I had put it away quite before the party. I'd worked up till the point of the party beginning, as I usually do.
So you did see it yesterday?
Yes, I did, and I'd put it away right before the party, back into its vault.
Can you show me where it is?
Yes, absolutely.
Fennell says, I'm going to go get dressed. Will you take care of her?
Yeah, of course. Oh, could you also move me? I feel kind of ridiculous wearing this.
No, you are, but it's cute. And she goes off to go get you guys clothes.
Yeah.
And while you guys head there, what are you guys doing at the bar?
So I'm like there's like a gentleman serving drinks.
Yeah. There's another fairy.
Okay, I would like to roll manners and see whether he's any good at this.
Oh, please. I will roll his manners as well. Grab any dice you wish.
And I have a 3 in it.
Oh, for you.
Yeah, I have a +3 in it. That's a 3. Yeah.
3. Perfect. He's rubbish at
Okay.
this. Like absolute rubbish.
I'm going to walk right up to him and then just sort of appear behind him and then look down and then wait for him to make some room. And then I start mixing a drink, I start mixing his favorite drink.
Percy leans up against the bar counter naturally in the spot where Tearworth settled. He knows that in most circumstances, whatever staff is there could not match him for drinks at any day. And Percy is now lost in his head. What little space there must be, he does still tend to get lost from time to time. You know, Tearworth, I believe I have distressing news.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
I believe I've fallen in love.
Of course. I was present at your engagement to the lucky young Miss...
No. Not prescribed love, but real, actual love with Miss Swent.
The fairy who's at the barkeep, he pours the drink, goes, Mizdith, drinks it and puts it down and walks away.
I get like a sour expression upon hearing this. This like imprecation.
Oh yeah. He's basically sworn in front of you.
I'm very sorry about that, sir.
It's surprising, I know, but seeing her in this state, in this mode of distress, it calls out to me. It's reawakened some dormant masculine instinct in my soul. You know, us Wooshires have a very masculine particularity about us.
I have often said that, sir.
We can't see a feminine person in crisis and not leap to their aid. And she is quite beautiful. I believe it should be my job to get this whole thing sorted out.
At the risk of sounding injudicious, sir, am I given to understand that your attitude has changed since this morning?
I believe it has. I shall find this seal, and after locating the seal, I will no doubt awake in Astrid a a dormant feminine sense of gratitude that must be somewhere there beneath the surface.
I can only imagine it must be so, sir.
Well, you can say what you want about Aunt Irene. Sometimes she arranges things to be correct. Perhaps Astrid and I are meant to be with one another after all. And if I've fallen in love, it seems only fair that she should have to as well.
There does seem to be a bit of equality in the matter now, sir.
I'm glad you agree. So, Tearworth, I'm going to need you to put that fabulous mind of yours to work on what could have possibly happened.
Tearworth gazes down at your chest, and then he looks up and he says, I'm afraid nothing comes to mind immediately, sir.
I've got a theory, you know.
Please, I would be most gratified to hear it, sir.
Drew, what's the name of the water fae?
The Nayadi.
I think this has Nayadi hands written all over it.
At this, my expression changes, and I say, indeed, sir.
Oh, yes, indeed. Nayadi famously always butting heads with, and I need the Earth Fae.
Silvani.
Silvani. Always butting heads with the Silvani. Ancient rivals, you know.
Am I given to understand that Sir is proposing that the Nayadi arrived in disguise last night?
No. There were plenty of opportunities for Nayadi emissaries and their agents to infiltrate an open party of such celebration and love.
Of course, sir. I must have missed them.
They slipped into this house unknown and unseen and went to the vault room where no partygoer would have prying eyes, opened up the vault and stole from it the seal of the dare.
An intriguing theory, to be sure, sir.
The only theory that makes any sense at all, Tearworth. You and I are already one step ahead.
I am sure that is true, sir.
You know, Wooshires have an investigative sense about them. Always had an investigative spirit, just like my father before me. I will put my investigative instincts to this problem. You will put your fantastic mind to this problem. And I will win the heart that has won mine so easily and so frivolously.
Unable to take his eyes off of the tie, Tearworth looks to the skies and says, We shall endeavor to give our best satisfaction, sir, and then glides away.
Excellent. So we are now in your room, in the room of the scene of the crime.
Yes.
Do tell me what you are doing, the two of you.
I'm kind of sitting there comforting her. She's, have you shown me where you've done it? Essentially, yeah, just where is it at? Where
we would step into my office, obviously, directly next to the rooms where I sleep. And I would show you exactly where the vault is and how I personally open it, making sure there's no one else in the room. Although perhaps that doesn't even matter anymore. It's already been opened and stolen from.
Is it the way you open? Can you open the lock for me, please?
Yes, absolutely.
You go over, place your hand over it. The geometry draws itself around your hand, and you turn it, and then rise it up. And you see the vault spin and open.
Now, it seems that it's only activated by you. Is there anyone else who might have access to this lock?
Literally no one.
Okay. Was there anyone suspicious last night at your party? Do you recall anyone acting out of sorts, or did your servants see anyone coming in here near this area of the estate?
I can't speak for my servants, but I was surrounded by the upper class the entire time. I couldn't tell you if I saw anyone of suspicious nature.
Roll me a. Do you have notice?
I do.
Excellent. Take these. Roll a notice. Ooh, that's a very good notice.
4.
4. I'm gonna say you did see somebody rather unscrupulous last night. Let us say that you saw a half-gene at your party. Although Embrilar himself is a half-gene. He's obviously respectable, he's a chief. But you saw a half-gene Nayadi or water fae at your party last night, and you did not recognize them.
Yes, yes. Come to think of it, when I was out on the patio later in the evening, I noticed it had gotten a bit dark by that point, but they looked to be a half-gene Nayati.
Okay.
No one I knew, nor were they ever on my list. I would not welcome that type of trouble into my home.
How many Naiades were invited to the party last night?
None.
0. Would any have had a Naiade servant or a Naiade gentleman that would have been with them?
It's absolutely clear that as a Sylvani, we're butting heads constantly with them. It'd just be asking for trouble. So anyone attending should know better than to bring Nayati into my home.
Of course. Tell me, what security do you have around your estate?
Goodness, I don't know what is in the world.
No, that's fine that you wouldn't know. You can call in somebody if you want.
That's someone else's problem.
Yeah. It's,
My butler could give you more details about what we've had installed. I assure you, it's top of the line. I would accept no less.
What's your butler's name?
Oh my.
Oh my.
Yes.
And then,
so, as you are heading up the stairs towards her ladyship's study, you meet Oh my, and the two of you both go. Mr. Tywin,
Afternoon.
you first, please.
And there's a little stare down.
Yeah.
And then I walk in front
Their
of him.
butler auras flash against one another.
It's almost at 9,000.
Yeah. Mr. Omai, are you aware of the circumstances surrounding Madam's Sealy seal?
Of course, that's not my chief occupational subtle matter, but it's what I am aware of.
Then Mr. Omai is no doubt aware that it was magically booby-trapped by the Sealy himself. I would like to make a falsehood, please.
Please do.
And I want to use the art of psychology to study this guy, so
Okay.
I'll invoke that aspect.
Please, go
Try
for
to
it.
figure out what he fears.
Perfect.
Um,
So add a +1.
okay. This is a falsehood, so it's a total +3. Mm-hmm. And do I need to spend an...
No.
Okay.
You're fine.
So that's a +4.
+4. Oh my rolled terribly. So you notice that oh my pauses. It's a brief pause, but it speaks volumes. As he pauses and goes, "Of course, sir. Everyone knows that." And with that psychology, you get the sense that he, one, had no idea that that could ever possibly be a thing, and two, that he doesn't seem to be,
Heartened?
yeah, heartened by it. That's the good word for it. So he goes, "I was absolutely aware of that, sir. So,
Then-
of course, we are all very aware of its magical properties and what the Dare himself has done for his ladyship."
Then I am given to understand that the chaos surrounding the events of last night are merely the normal state in which this estate operates.
Why don't you just stab him?
He bristles a little bit, straightens his coat, and says, "Of course not, sir. We are of the highest caliber and cleanliness and order and such. This is merely a scoundrel who has gone off with his ladyship's seal, and how dare I do not like your implications, sir."
I am smiling thinly.
Moves his hair a little bit, and then he walks in. Percy, what are you doing right now?
So Percy is walking right now. And as I'm to understand, none of the other characters would be people that I could walk into because they're all in the vault room, right?
They're all in the vault room right now.
Okay. So Percy is going to do what his investigative instincts tell him to do, and he's giving a good stroll around the estate, giving it a once-over, looking it up and down, sipping from his drink occasionally, nodding at certain things, shaking his head disapprovingly at other things.
Is there any rhyme or reason, or are they random?
Again, he's being guided by instinct. The old investigative Wooshire spirit.
Excellent. Do you want to roll something for me?
Sure. I can't imagine what this could be.
If you have notice, it'd be a notice.
No, I am playing my character.
That is true. That is true.
So I have no relevant skills to notice.
This is amazing.
Anything. So I think instead, I am going to roll manners, and I am going to use the art of geniality to summon someone into this scene who I would be able to talk to.
Perfect.
What about reputation? You could use that. Right?
Reputation? I mean, I feel like this isn't a situation where I'm leveraging my reputation.
You're just hanging out as a chum.
I am an unattended noble on an estate. I have no leash. There are no caretakers.
That's right.
Lord knows what chaos I will leave in my wake. So yes, what a great role. Adding my manners and the art of geniality, that is going to be a 5.
5. Goodness gracious me. There is a gardener who is here. So you are so busy, Astrid, with your own green speaking work, that you have your own green speaker for the estate. His name is
Constance.
Constance. His friends call him Connie. And Constance is chat, tell me what kind of plant Constance is. But he is green speaking at this moment. And he is in the garden green speaking as you come across him.
I say, hello, chap.
Hello, sir. How can I help you? Master Percy. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you, sir.
No need for such formalities. You'll find in due time that I am a companionable sort.
Of course, sir. Of course. Can I help you?
No. Just looking around. You've heard the dreadful business that's been going on, haven't you not?
No, sir. I haven't. I've been out in the garden all day.
Oh, goodness. My dear fellow, you may want to take a seat. He is, kneeling down, attending to his gardening duties.
Very well then. And he grows a stump and sits down on it.
We have been visited by burglars most foul.
No.
Yes. Now, you can't go around telling this to everyone. It would be dreadful if this news were to leave the grounds of this very estate.
He grows a stump for you as well.
And he sits down naturally, in just a smooth motion.
Your trousers.
But the seal of the dare has been pilfered from her ladyship's own office, from her vault.
No.
Now, tell me, you weren't working last evening, were you?
No, of course not, sir.
Of course not, no. But you take residence on the estate.
Of course, sir. He points over to a pool house, little cottage that's off in the trees. He's going, I live right over there, sir.
You see those stuffy-nosed bureaucrats up there are doing their investigative work, whereas I, a Wooshire, am guided by investigative instincts, and I would know to talk to the common man. After all, you had a better vantage point on the outside of the estate than any. Tell me, did you see anything suspicious last night?
Suspicious?
Unknown characters, those who don't belong.
Well, I did turn in early last night. I knew the party was going on. I didn't want to get in the way. So I came back here and I sat down and I went to bed with a good cup of tea and a book, as one does.
Of course.
And I listened to a little bit of music. But there was about midnight, there was someone who went through the gardens.
Through the gardens?
Indeed. They went from the house, and I thought it was very strange, very strange. I looked out my window.
That's absolutely strange. Her ladyship would never allow anyone to stroll through her gardens unattended.
No, not at all. And I thought it was very strange, but I thought to myself, well, maybe it was somebody from the party. Maybe they were out for a nice moonlight stroll. Maybe it was her ladyship. I didn't want to pry.
Well, tell me, what did this chap look like? Surely you must have seen a silhouette.
Oh, it was a silhouette like so, and he,
Was it he?
He or she, I could not tell from such a distance.
I've narrowed it down to he or she.
And, but
No chance of one in between, one undefined?
No.
So definitely, okay, that cuts out a huge segment of the population. Already you and I are running circles around the, what is it, the justice?
The wardens.
Running circles around the wardens.
Well, if there was one thing I did notice, sir, and I'm just saying, I saw this, it might have, this is just my humble opinion, I saw fins.
He nods, he like gets up from the stump, nodding. Good chap. And he like walks away with like again, the same sort of sly, ambling, looking at things, nodding at some things, shaking his head at others, as the gardener gets back
And
to his
Constance
work.
goes back to his work. And we are now back in the room with you lovely people. Fennel has brought you clothes by this
Oh,
point.
sweet. So I've changed.
Yeah, and Fennel's in the room too. She's just sitting
Is
there.
Omai in here?
Omai is in here. He
Okay.
walks up and he's like,
And I look at him and I'm like, tell me, did you ever see the Sealy Seal?
have I seen the Sealy Seal? I believe I have seen it, but most surreptitiously, sir.
What does it look like? Can you describe it? Can anyone describe to me? Oh, she seems quite out of it. Tell me, what does...
Fennel is over with you. She's brought you tea. You're both drinking tea and sitting there.
Thank you so much. What color? What is it? Describe what it looks like to me.
Well, sir, it's about hand high, about pixie high. It's made of stone and grey and black stone, and it has the Dare's seal at the bottom of it.
Is there any a certain color to it?
Grey and black, sir?
That's it.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be a teal Sealy Seal.
No, no. It's not a teal Sealy seal, sir. It is merely a
Teal Sealy Seal could not be real.
It's quite congeal of you, but it is well.
This is a big deal that we have lost the Sealy Seal. It we have ruled out is not teal.
No, it is black and grey, sir.
How terrible I feel.
What are you doing?
Dying.
It's all canon. All happened. It absolutely all happened.
Alex walked away. Sorry, the stream's over. So long, everyone.
We've achieved the pinnacle of Warda. Thank you, everyone, for coming. That's merely it, sir. Black,
About pixie
grey,
high.
pixie high, seal on it. I mean, there's a bit of gold in it as well, but
Does anyone besides her ladyship have access to her quarters?
well,
to our
I
office?
do, sir.
Is there anyone else among your staff?
The headmistress has it as well.
What's her name?
Her name is, what is her name? Headmistress, the head maid.
Virginia.
Virginia. Virginia does. I have access to the room, sir, as well.
Okay. How often does her ladyship use the seal?
Every day, sir.
Every day.
It's an everyday occurrence, sir.
And what time does she normally put it away?
Well, usually her ladyship is working well into the night. She's very busy.
Of course. She
And
works very hard. She's attained this reputation and position.
Of course, sir. Of course. Is there some doubt of that, sir?
Not at all.
Very well. I appreciate you stepping down. And well, she puts it away before supper every night, and she might bring it out for work as well. But before she goes to bed,
Does she ever take it out of the office?
do you ever take it out of the office, man?
Well, you did just say that she sometimes brings it down.
Well, yes, if there are things that need to be sealed at the door, the doorman will come.
Oh, so she sometimes brings it out of the office and will bring it all the way to the door.
Well, yes, isn't that correct, ma'am?
Yes, quite rarely though.
Very
Never
rare.
goes
Very
unattended
rare.
by myself.
Very rare.
Did anything of the sort happen last night?
No.
No, the seal did not leave the room.
No, the seal does
Very
not leave
busy
my
night,
office.
sir. Are you implying something, sir?
Not at all. I'm trying to get all the facts.
Of course, of course.
Now, okay. Now, would I know like the type of magic that she uses to unlock this seal? I'm assuming.
Sure,
it's
roll me
something-
Arcana.
Also, by the way, I feel like I could get away with this. It's been 9 years. I've made some adjustments.
You know, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. You made
okay.
adjustments. I saw you doing it. I'm like, no.
Oh, well, hey, whatever.
Hey.
Hey, what up? And, alrighty, that's still fine. So I used, would that be Arcanica?
In Beyond Arcanica.
Alrighty, so that's a 3.
A 3 in Arcanica. I would like you to roll me an Arcanica as well.
What? Oh. Oh dear. Well, that's still a 3.
A 3. What is it usually? Is
4.
4. Excellent. And you roll. Yeah, she does. It's a very well done lock spell. Obviously, you know a lot about lock spells. That's something you do as a ward. But the lock spell that she does looks like a secondary encryption on it of some kind.
Okay, so it could be broken.
It could be broken.
Quite difficult to do.
It's a difficult thing to do, but it can be broken.
Okay. You say that you saw someone, a half gene at Nayadi.
Yes.
Where did you see them again? Remind me.
When I was out on the patio.
Around what time? Was it during the party, after the party, near the end of the party?
It was during the party, just after the sun had gone down.
And I go out to the patio and I look down. Is there any way for them to like have easily scaled, pun intended, the you got it, the wall?
I'm going to say that you are on the 3rd floor of the estate of the building, and just outside there is a retaining wall, and there is like a lattice of ivy. If somebody wanted to, but then again, if they're a full fae, if they're fae, they could just walk up here, and it's easy enough to get up here.
Yeah. Okay. I look down. Is the groundskeeper from earlier? Is he down there?
You look down and you do see Constance. He's working in the garden. You also do see Percy, and he's walking around, looking at things, nodding at things, taking sips of his drink.
Okay. I called out. Also, do I know him? Do we know each other, right?
You would know him by reputation. I don't know.
You were at his engagement party.
Yeah, you were in the engagement
Yes,
party
but like
last night.
I wouldn't call you. But I wouldn't be like, oh, Percy. I would be like, oh, the Lord Percy.
It depends on what social circles you tend to run in.
Probably not. Then I would probably call you Lord Percival. Dear Lord Percival, tell me.
It's Persevius.
Persevius, Lord Persevius. Who's that man you're talking to down there?
Hello!
Hello, who is that man that you're talking to down there?
The Constance Gardner.
Interesting. Are you a constant presence, Constance?
Yes, sir. I do take a stance on that.
Yes. Were you working last night?
No, sir. I went to bed early.
Ah, okay. Tell me, could you please come up here? I'd like to discuss some things with you.
He like looks past and like looks up and, my lady?
Yes, please.
Very well then. And he gets up and walks.
Awful lot of shouting on this estate.
And he walks past you, Percy, and heads inside.
Tell me,
While he's thinking, what are you doing?
I appear behind Madam over here, and I cough like slightly so that she's aware, and I don't like startle her.
May I help you?
Madam, and then like for the first time, he's a little bit like off his game, and he says, "May I say that I am a huge fan of the work that you do with the Sealy Gardens. I have not yet been fortunate enough to visit them myself, but some of your other known works around the city are frequent haunts of mine. This is why I am afraid that I might have something of an uncomfortable conversation with you.
Whatever could you mean?
So at this, like, Tearworth, he's going to make a insight
Okay.
roll on her to find out whether or not this would be absolutely the wrong call to do.
Okay.
But he's going to try to offer her a drink.
Roll me an insight.
So this is a +4. And knows who's in charge is what I'm going to invoke here.
Nice.
Because she's in command of the situation. Nice. That is, so knows who's in charge is +1. And then my normal insight is a 5, so that's a 7.
Wow. Okay. So I want you to give him the real answer. And if he got you a drink right now, would that be the right thing to do?
It depends on the drink.
What drink would you want specifically for this moment?
Pure spring water.
You
That's
know
what I have on me,
That's what
So I produce a bottle of pure spring water, and then I pour it very, very carefully, and then I offer it to you. And I say, I don't believe we have been properly introduced, madam, but I am in the employ of your affianced, Lord Wooshire.
Oh, you mean Percy?
The gentleman is one and the same, yes.
Very well.
I must confess that when this engagement was first brought to my attention, I had some misgivings about the arrangement. But after a conversation with his lordship this morning, in which he endeavored to assist you throughout your time of need in any way possible, I took it upon myself, as his gentleman's gentleman, to render you whatever aid you may require. However, I do have one request, if I may.
You can ask, but I can't guarantee anything in my time of dire straits.
Of course, madam. I would request that you not let on that I am assisting you.
I've acquired the assistance of many today, none of which I have written down or counted.
Of
I
course.
count on everyone's aid at this moment in time. I will not speak of it, if that is what you ask.
Of course, madam. My employer and I, though quite close, are in something of a, he would describe it as spat at the moment, and I would not take care to let on that I am assisting him unseen. I
Yes.
appreciate your discretion in the matter.
Very well. It's not of my concern at this moment. All I care about is retrieving my seal.
Of course. On that subject, I have a few questions for you, if I may.
Very well.
How long has your butler been in your employ?
Oh my. Multiple years. At least a decade.
A decade.
Yes, he's quite old. Have you noticed?
I had noticed, madam.
He's been in my home for a very long time.
A decade. And has his behavior been changed of late since you announced your engagement to the estimable Lord Wooshire?
None that I've noticed, but I've always been quite busy, and he's always been nothing but exactly what I need out of a servant.
Of course, madam. And may I say that the condition of your estate is, even now, quite impressive. However, I must confess some misgivings about some of your staff and some of the care with which they have taken safeguarding your most treasured possession. If you would be so kind, I would greatly appreciate the opportunity to have some, to be able to take my meal with them in the servants' hall this evening.
Are you asking to stay here with your master?
I believe so. I am, madam.
Then inform the staff that you've been invited to stay, and please do not trouble me further, for I'm quite vexed at the moment, and this questioning has got me in a tizzy.
Of course, madam. He gives you another bottle of spring water and then glides away.
My question is, do you drink the water, or do you, like, pour the water? Like, how do you...
I like the idea of her just throwing it.
With the first poured glass, I was sipping it gently, and with the second one, after this conversation, she just pours it on her head to rinse off her petals because she's so frustrated right now.
Fennel is there as well, and she's like, can I make sure that...
Fluffs it up a little bit.
Can I roll to see if I heard that conversation?
Sure. Do you have a notice?
I do.
He does. have a
Yeah, I
notice.
do now. All right. Hey, cursed die. Not today. That would be a 7.
You
Yeah, the 7.
definitely hear that conversation.
Alrighty.
You're
cool.
in the middle of speaking with Omai,
Yes.
and eventually Omai goes, "Excuse me, no, I must go and prepare for the meal."
Of course. And then I step into a corner of the room and I gesture for, pardon me, what would I call a gentleman?
A gentle phase, gentle fay. You would probably ask for his name and then call him by his name.
There wouldn't be a title.
Well, probably not. I don't imagine there would be.
Pardon me, could I speak with you for a moment?
Of course. I glide over and I say, my name is Tearworth. I'm in the employ of Lord Wooshire, with whom you are obviously acquainted.
Of course. Embrilar Ardeo, pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure is all mine.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation with her ladyship.
Of course.
Do you have a reason to suspect, oh my?
I do. However, this may be an injudicious place to discuss it. And I look at where Omai's walked off to.
There's this moment where, as you both look at him, the camera zooms in on Omai as he turns and then walks a little bit further out of the frame.
Okay. Da-na-na. Okay. Come, let us, and we go outside on the patio. Did you speak to him? Did he say something that seemed to arouse suspicion?
So Tearworth thinks for a long time, and then he begins, I must confess my practiced dislike for the, to use the lower term, butler did it trope. However, I must confess to some degree of suspicions that Mr. Omai aroused in me upon our brief conversation.
Please, could you detail me the topics of this conversation?
Of course. Endeavoring to make it known throughout the class of respectable gentlemen's gentlemen and gentlemen's gentle ladies and ladies' gentle ladies and what have you, that the item in question was stolen, something that obviously the papers will have reported on already. I decided to add something of my own twist to the scenario.
Ah, I see.
I let slip that the item in question was magically booby-trapped, and that if it got too far from the estate, which that was what I meant to say, by the way, that if it arrived more than 10 miles from the, actually, what would be a realistic?
A realistic way from it, I would say a mile or so from the estate.
Yeah.
Let's actually, why not just keep it within the bounds of the estate?
Oh, that's great. That's great. So
Well, but that only works if I don't think that it's already gone.
But it wouldn't be already gone.
Do I think it would be already gone or not? I don't want to make that.
Yeah.
At this point, if it was gone, they would know. They already know about it, but there would be a lot more hullabaloo about who would take it.
So they think it's still on the estate.
And
Okay.
they believe it's still on the, which is why everyone is still looking for it.
In which case, I started the rumor that if it left the bounds of the estate, there would be a terrific explosion, and the person in question would be instantly incinerated.
And then how did he react upon hearing this?
I believe that Mr. Omai reacted with what he attempted to disguise as. Well, Mr. Omai was less relieved than I would have assumed upon hearing this news.
Of course,
I do not believe that he is responsible personally for the theft. However, my talents are less given to the sort of investigative work that you, or indeed, and then he looks in the direction of Percy, my employer is fond of doing.
Percy walks up at this time. Rummy situation this, isn't it? Yes, I spoke with you earlier, but shortly. Nice to meet you, Percy Wooshire.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, my lord. Embrilar Ardeo.
Please. My friends call me Wooshire, especially a gentleman of your sort in the same line of work.
You're also in tune with the investigative arts yourself, Wooshire.
Indeed.
I would endeavor to say that Master Wooshire is known to those in your line of work.
I'm gonna guess that I probably know who he is.
You've seen him on the like drunken wanted posters a few times.
Yeah.
The public nuisance.
The public nuisance postings.
Yes. Obviously, you have a sort of instinct for this because you seem to have been ahead of me down there. You were already talking to a person of interest that I would like to discuss. Tell me, what did you get out of the man down there?
Well, perhaps you may have come across this lead as there was an unknown person walking about the gardens, either male or female.
We have stumbled upon that exact same thread.
Narrowing it down to a small portion of the population who might be male or female.
Making progress.
And bearing fins.
Bearing fins, sir.
Fins.
Yes, fins. And this comes from the Constance Gardener themselves.
They said they saw fins.
Fins. Maybe. Perhaps.
Perhaps fins.
Perhaps fins, perhaps male, perhaps female.
Interesting. Because her ladyship said that she did see a half-gene Naiadi.
Really? Troublesome work, Naiadi.
Tell me, Lord Wooshire, did anyone seem odd last night to you? You were here at this party as well. I myself didn't see anything. I was too busy not paying attention. But of a person of your instincts.
Anyone seem odd? I would like to invoke my trouble.
Sure.
My he means well.
Oh no.
So what, Drew, what person did I notice who seemed odd last night?
Oh, goodness. Last night, you saw a very strange Silvani. Very strange. They spent the entire party to themselves. They didn't have a drink. They didn't socialize. They merely stood in a corner and glared at everybody the entire night.
Well, now that you mention it, I did last night, as I made my rounds around our party, to meet all of our guests, I did notice a particular Silvani who was out of place. They were not drinking and making merry, no socializing of any sort. Off in the corner, really odd sort,
Odd to be antisocial at a social gathering.
Yes, totally snooted.
Did you make conversation with this gentleman?
I tried to engage, but brushed me off, walked away, as though I weren't co-host of the event.
Interesting. Tell me, did you get this gentleman's name?
I did not. Like I said, brushed me off, tossed me aside. The criminal temperament and a lack of care for manners and society go hand in hand.
At this, I lean in like close to the inspector and say in an undertone, hopefully Percy won't be able to hear this, but say in an undertone, I have not found topiaries to be excellent conversants, sir.
Topiaries?
Meaning, he was drunk and it was a plant. It was a literal brush.
Oh my god.
Can't say if the individual in question was male or female, which puts them right in line. The only problem is no scales of any sort.
Interesting, but a person of interest, no doubt.
Yes, I believe I will lend my efforts more fully to your investigation. Fear not, I shall be at your side until we've seen this one through.
That'll be lunch.
Sorry about that. Looks like I'll be parting ways with you. But do tell me what you found in good time.
He walks off, and I'm like, do you stay?
Yeah. Well, actually, you're walking off to have lunch. I mean, I assume the servants of this estate will tend to him.
Oh yes, like
Yeah.
basically lunch is served for
And he and I are
everyone.
fighting in the most passive-aggressive way right now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I am going to stick with the inspector, actually.
Excellent. Do you go to lunch, lady?
Yes, you certainly can't work or search for anything on an empty stomach.
Fennel goes, I'm gonna get some lunch. Do you want anything?
Yeah, can you just send me a bagel, babe?
Yeah, I can get you one.
Yes.
And you guys head off.
Okay.
I love the idea that you have bagels.
So you three go to lunch. So lunch is held in the mist room. There's a constant mist that's going in that particular room. Feels very good for Silvani. And what is lunch? Tell me a food that is at lunch today.
Oh, there's most definitely berries. And one of my requirements for every meal is I'm very invested in the art of aesthetics, so I need everything served to me in the most magnificent way possible. Every berry is placed very specifically. So we have perhaps some cakes on the table, a bowl where we can serve ourselves berries, some meats for those who desire to eat those things.
There is a sherbet. Blueberry sherbet. Matches my complexion most delightfully. And to what I'm sure would be chagrin of my associate, Mr. Tearworth, it clashes most awfully with my tie.
Perfect.
Many things do, sir.
It is a
Including your shirt, suit, belt, and pants.
it is a lighter fare, so it's like merely a snack for the day.
Some small sandwiches.
It's a small
perhaps.
sandwiches, berries, many berries.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Yes.
They have cherries marinated in bourbon. There's a sherbet that is very, very good, that they brought in a enchanted bowl, so it's always going to be cold.
And it can be requested to have it marinated in bourbon as well.
Yes, indeed. There's someone standing there with bourbon, waiting. And you guys sit down to lunch to eat. Is there anything you guys want to speak about while you're at lunch?
My dear, this dreadful business does not agree with you.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying this dreadful business does not agree with you.
No, not at all. No. Goodness, no.
These worries are so far beneath you. You know, it distresses me to think that the criminal element has made it all the way to the second ward. You can think some of the lower wards out there, of course they have criminals stalking about every corner. But here in the second ward, it's unthinkable. You know, in times like this, I rely upon the company of trusted, faithful servants. You can't trust any strangers who might be stalking about, unfamiliar persons walking about the grounds, but the smiling face of the men and women who stand behind you day in and day out. Those are faces you can always rely on.
I'd say so, but you have one point for certain that I've always believed. And I've allowed myself to languish for a period of time, and I simply cannot do that. I'll have to do...
Oh, no,
I'll have to search for this myself.
no doubt it's your gentle soul relying on others where minds like yours would be sharper. Of course, you, my sweet Astrid, would have this temperament, would think that others could step in where only yourself could do the job right. Oh, you're so generous and so beautiful.
That's Fennel. She sighs as she continues to eat.
And I can tell, Fennel, that your temperament has been disrupted as well.
No. It's terribly fine. You are very, very cute together. I just...
Oh, Percy. Sometimes you know just the right thing to say, but only sometimes.
You are too kind already.
And it's at that point that a servant comes up and whispers in your ear, "Ma'am, there's a delivery here for you."
A delivery?
Yes, ma'am.
At a time like this?
Yes, ma'am. I thought it would be prudent, ma'am. He shows you the receipt, and your seal is stamped on it.
My seal? Is this delivery person still here?
Yes, ma'am. I thought to
Retain them,
Yes.
please.
Yes, ma'am. And heads off to do that. What are you two doing?
I have now made my way. Well, I've already questioned Constance. He came up there and we discussed all of that. So no new information is gained there. I am now down in the garden where they saw the half-Genasi, and I'm now inspecting the area. I want to try to get a feel for how tall this person is.
Roll me an investigate.
That is a 5.
5. With a 5, you find footprints.
Yes.
You find footprints that lead to. There's several different types of footprints, but you find specifically footprints that lead to a particular spot in the garden, and it's like a bowling green. It's a nice flat piece of grass, and there seems to be there's a chest, like cabinet thing, not far away from this, and it's hedged off, and in that chest are lawn games.
Okay. I want to investigate to see if also would there have been with this. I'm assuming this magic. I'm going to look to see if there's some sort of magical aura emitted by a Sealy has been come in contact.
Yeah, there would be
I'm
a magical aura that comes off of it. So yeah,
All right, would that be Arcanica or Investigation?
it's an Arcanica.
Arcanica. That is a 4.
A 4. With a 4, you see that there's nothing. I mean, the games themselves are magical because they're magical games.
Yeah.
Because they're fey. But you find that there's not a strong magical aura off of anything in particular here.
Okay, but I haven't there's not like a trail of anything that I could see.
No. Mostly what you see is that there's several there's like lawn bowling in here. They have. Have you guys ever played Cube?
Cube.
What is
Cube? Cube.
No.
It's a Swedish game done with blocks, and you throw blocks back and forth, and you're supposed to knock over blocks. It's a Swedish game. It's a lot
Similar
of
to
fun.
bocce ball.
Yes, similar to bocce. It's a lawn game. There's that sort of game is here.
Is there any game in the cabinet that could have been used to help scale the wall?
Oh, roll me and investigate again. See if you.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
That is a 2.
With a 2, you go through and you can't find anything that might be. You can't find anything that would help somebody scale that wall, but you do find that there are pieces missing.
Yeah, that was about to be my second question. I'm assuming that on an estate such as this, everything would be orderly, wouldn't just be tossed in there. There are items missing.
There are items.
What
missing.
are the items that are missing?
There's a couple of blocks from that Coop game.
Okay.
There is a mallet from Croquet. And 1 bocce ball.
Interesting. Okay, do the footprints lead anywhere else?
They come here, and then away, and go back to the house.
The away, where does the away path go?
So they go from the house to here and back.
Okay, so really just, there's nothing, they just appeared in front of this place?
Literally, they went from the house, they go to this place, and then they walk back to the house.
Interesting.
And you're there as well, Tearworth, I assume.
What door are they going to?
There is a veranda door underneath her office, like 2 stories down from her office, and in and out of that.
Okay. That veranda door, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go to that door. Does any of this seem odd to you? Anything particular that you notice?
I believe it lends credence to our theory that this was, as they say in the serials that Master Percy is fond of, an inside job.
Yes. Does the equipment chest, is there a lock on it that has been broken?
No, there's no lock on it.
No lock. Okay.
Allowing us to theorize, perhaps, sir, that whoever opened this box had keys to it.
But there's no lock.
Wait, didn't you just say there was a lock?
No, there's no lock.
Oh, there's no lock, sorry.
Okay.
Never mind, I did not see that.
No worries. So there's no lock. But they knew where it was. If someone was a stranger to this estate, they would have looked for this thing. They came straight here and then straight back. They knew this chest was here. They knew what there would be in it, and they took specific items from it.
There is the matter of the half-gene gentleman, gentle lady, or gentle other that was described earlier,
Yes.
who we do not believe to be employed by the estate.
They could have been told where this is.
Indeed, they may have been an accomplice.
I'm going to go inside. I want to go underneath to where the footsteps lead.
Inspector,
Yes.
I don't wish to get in the way of your further investigations, and I believe I may be more useful in the servants' quarters, as they are going to be dining shortly, having finished serving their gentlemen and gentle ladies and
Of course. Yes.
gentle people.
Please do me a favor. I would like to employ your assistance.
Of course, sir.
You seem to have a rapport with these other gentle-faced gentlemen. Keep an eye out for any unscrupulous characters. If they seem to talk about anything, people of suspicious nature. Thank you for your assistance in this matter.
Of course. I endeavor to give satisfaction, sir.
Thank you, sir. We will reconvene later and we will discuss findings. And then I go underneath where I follow the steps back into the house to see like what nearby rooms are located to that.
There's a lot of parlor. There's several large parlors, which obviously were part of the party last night.
Okay. How close to this is to the front yard? Like on the map of the house, is this in the far backyard, left, right?
It's kind of in the front area.
Okay.
And let's jump to lunch with you guys. The servant has just left to
Yes.
do that.
This might be the most ardor I've ever seen between the two of you, by the way. You're getting along really well.
We were for a moment there. Yes,
Yeah.
we were. Astrid has finally passed the moment of her swoon, and having seen her stamp again, or at least the seal on a letter, she's decided to investigate this person herself.
Excellent. Do you go along, Percy, or do you?
Of course. Do you think I would allow my lady to enter into such a tumultuous situation alone? Heavens, no. Perish the thought.
Well, lunch wasn't done yet, and we'll move on.
Lunch will be brought.
To which you say to one of the Fae. There's a fairy standing there, and he goes, "Yes, sir." And he goes over and grabs a tray and goes with you guys. Fennel stays. She stays. He's like, "You go on. I'll stay here and I'll finish my lunch." You guys go to the back door to one of the servants' doors, and as you guys get there, there's there's a stone path that leads out of the estate from where this is, and there is a human standing there, ivy cap, standing there smoking a cigarette, and looks over and he goes, "Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. I'm just here to drop off the goods.
What do you have to drop off?
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
Yes.
When-
Snish. Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, heavens.
I'm sorry about that.
Now, you are speaking to a lady, my good sir.
I'm terribly sorry, sir.
I understand that you are human and, because of that, flawed. But in the presence of betters, it is always best to rise to be better than oneself.
Of course, sir. Of course. And he takes his hat off. He goes, "Sorry, ma'am. Sorry about that. It's fertilizer. I got about 4 cots full of fertilizer."
I'd like to examine the receipt that was brought with my stamp upon it.
Of course, ma'am. Of course. And so what it is he hands you the other part of it. So there's the acquisition and the receipt. And so he has the acquisition that he gives you, and it's relatively recent. And I'm going to assume you don't remember ordering 3 carts of shit.
I wouldn't say so.
And and it is it's got It's got the receipt of 3 carts fertilizer from, and it's from one of the House Serene compost places. And your seal is on there, but it's messy. It's not precise. It's kind of haphazardly put on there.
Certainly not my work.
Roll me a. Do you have a notice or an investigate?
I do have a notice.
Roll me a notice. That's not bad.
So that's +1. So that's 2.
2. With a 2, you look at it and you see the date of it, and the acquisition came yesterday.
I signed no such notice yesterday.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, ma'am, but I was just told to bring the manure.
I would like to roll contacts.
Cool.
Let's see here. All right. With a 4, Percy keeps the company of not just well-blooded individuals, but the particular clubs and bars and other social areas that he frequents also have well-moneyed individuals who might not be so well-blooded. So there's a good mix of company, and I believe the business that we are dealing with, the courier company, is owned by a good friend of Percy's.
Perfect. Yeah. So it's held by the courier. Yeah. So the courier company for this particular one is held by a friend of yours. Her name is Marjorie. She is an Ifriti. And it's a small business that she runs on her own. It's mostly, she has humans and pixies that she sends out for courier for different things back and forth. She's doing this thing where she has pixies take packages to people back and forth. They'll send her an acquisition and she'll just send it by pixie. It's a new thing and it's doing very well. But Marjorie is her name.
Yes. Do you know, this courier agency happens to be run by a very good friend of mine, and I think, dear, if we put in a call to her, she might be able to tell you exactly who put the call for the order.
I would very much like to know that.
Now, then where did I put my pixie? He's looking around for his pixie.
I guess I'll appear behind him.
Yeah,
It's the kind of thing that I can do.
I think on the
sure.
way
Yeah.
to, because we're at a servant's exit, so
Yeah.
it makes sense that this would be on the way to the quarters. I say Tearworth, and he's here
Right
as
there,
I
yeah.
say it. There you are, man. I would like to put in a call to good old Margie.
The fertilizer dealer, sir.
Not the fertilizer dealer, the courier.
The other Margie.
So she does move the other Margie's fertilizer, so I can see where the confusion might have happened.
Of course, sir.
I'd like to put a call into her directly. It seems the game is afoot.
Is Sir quite certain of that particular wording?
Indeed, sir is. In fact, I was also thinking that it's a bit nippy out.
I'm afraid I do not take your meaning, sir.
Sort of weather that might call for a hat.
Oh dear, sir.
So, I'll tell you what. Please have Purity deliver a message to Margie from me that we would like to talk about a particular receipt, and have Rectitude put in a call for a hat. They'll know the one.
Of course, sir.
Excellent. Thank you. Very good. Very good.
And then I glide away, and then I will do as he asks, except I will ask that they make absolutely sure that rectitude is sent and not decency, and that rectitude should send the hat. Rectitude knows which hat to send.
The hat, yes.
The hat. And then Purity can, I trust Purity with that task.
I thought Rectitude was the bad one. Damn it.
You would remember you would forget which one is the bad one.
Yeah, I absolutely would.
That's very good.
So you send your picks. You reach into your pocket. You pull out your little notebook. You make notes for them. Fold it up. Give them to them.
Although there's no guarantee that Rectitude will be the pixie that actually shows up.
I believe that's a trouble that is being invoked.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Fashion first.
Fashion first. All right then. So you send off those acquisitions. The human's still standing there, going, "Shall I unload it then?"
Dear, I do believe, even though we are in a chaotic state, that fertilizer is still needed.
At some point, we may find use for it. Very well.
Very, very well, ma'am. Where's your groundskeeper?
In the hut over there, just knock on the door and he'll be with you.
Of course. And he heads off.
Do take care, you poor lad. And he hands him a tip.
Which is like a quarter of what you have on you.
Oh, is it that? Wow. He's like, oh.
That's the sort of money that Tearworth has made it understood is expected by the serving class. So he gives it without a second thought.
Yep.
He's, thank you, sir. He puts it away. And he walks through to go take care of that. So you guys, you're waiting for your message from Marjorie. And what do you do?
I was also going to talk to the servants and have dinner, but
yeah. I mean, you guys have been going around for you had lunch.
I'm sorry. It would be lunch, right?
Yeah, at lunch.
Oh, sorry. To him, this is dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was walking around investigating all the parlors. Is there any servant nearby or anything what is there any? It's all sitting rooms, all waiting rooms. Nothing.
At this point on the lower floor, it's a lot of sitting rooms, waiting rooms, indoor gardens, libraries, that sort of thing.
Okay. I want to find my way to the gardener's hut.
Okay. Constance is out in front of his own lawn. He's having a small meal.
From his hut, can he actually see where he was? Like what he was saying? Like, can he actually see that garden?
As you walk up to the house, you turn around, you can see. He can. He absolutely can see the game green from where you are.
Okay, is it like the distance-wise, would I be able to make out a silhouette? It would have been ridiculous. Would I have seen? I'm gonna say that no, you couldn't.
Okay.
There's no the distance. Yeah, you could see it, but you couldn't be able to tell. You wouldn't be able to see a figure with the distance that he was.
Mm-hmm. So as you come closer, you surreptitiously turn around. He's like, "Can I help you, Master Warden?" He's got jam and toast. No, he's got avocado toast because he's a Sylvani. That's absolutely what he's eating.
Avocado toast. So I'm talking. Just wanted to come and ask you a couple more questions. Sorry, if I'm bothering you.
No, please sit down. He grows a stump for you to sit down.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Always wish I had a skill like that.
Oh, I'd give anything for fire.
You say that, but fire. Fire is handy, but there's pretty much a lot of other ways you can have it. There's mechanica and stuff like that, but there's not a lot of mechanica I could create and move life around.
Crunch. As he eats.
Sorry.
That's all right. Please.
Tell me again, where that you saw someone?
Yeah.
Around where?
He's points to where the veranda is. From right over there.
Okay. And what time would you say that was around?
Oh, I don't know. I was inside 9, 10, probably 10.
And was the party in full swing?
Full swing by then. But I'd like to keep to myself.
Interesting. Why would you not have partook in the party? It seems like all of her ladyship would have invited all of her servants to the party.
I had a very busy day.
Oh, what did you have to do that day?
Well, I spent a good portion of my time on the back quarter, preparing a field out there.
I can imagine. That must be insanely stressful having to deal with her ladyship and
it is
being a groundskeeper for the groundskeeper to the ceiling.
It's very stressful.
Is she hard on you?
Of course she is.
Oh, I can imagine she demands nothing but perfection.
Absolute perfection. And you know, it gets a little tiresome at times, but you know, I work very hard, and
Does she pay you well?
of course she does. Of course she does.
Good.
I mean, I don't get to get my name out there a lot like I'd like, but
Do you do any like? You don't get your name out there at all?
well, no, I spend a lot of my time working here. I mean, that's what that back portion's for. It's my work.
You did all of that.
In the back corner, yeah.
Can I see it from here?
You look around. You can look around and see the back quarter, and the back quarter is it's a completely different landscape. It looks very different from the way that she has done. She's like, he goes, all this is her. I mean, I just maintain it and try to keep with that. That's me.
That's you. It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
And she doesn't let you do. Are you allowed time for side projects? Other
Oh no,
work?
there's no time. There's absolutely no time.
That must be frustrating.
Well, you know, I'm just hoping that this works well.
Okay, I'm gonna see if there's any sort of I'm gonna use an insight to see if there's any animosity he has toward it.
Roll me an insight.
That would be a 2.
A 2? I mean, with a 2, you can tell that he might be a little jealous,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to steal for.
Yeah. Nothing like that. What else do you do for her ladyship?
Well, I tend the gardens. I go over her sketches that she does for me every month.
Sketches.
She designs the garden.
Oh, this garden, it changes
Yeah, it changes.
How
It changes
frequently?
quite frequently. Well, every month.
every month.
Every season, she likes to have something different. So I go and I make sure that it's up to her specifications.
And you do all of that. She doesn't do any of it. You have to
No,
basically...
she's far too busy, sir.
Of course. Well, I can imagine. So that puts a lot of work
It's
on
her
you.
garden that I make.
Okay. How did you get this job, if you don't mind me asking?
I was an apprentice greensmaster. I do some tree speaking as well. And
Obviously.
oh, thanks. And I just, you know, right place, right time.
Right place, right time. Were you recommended? Have you apply for the position?
Well, the funny story is I was actually working at a zoo. I was doing their topiaries and singing some of their trees, speaking to some of their trees, and she came by and she saw my work and she wanted my resume. I mean,
that's awesome.
it was yeah.
That's
right,
fantastic. You were discovered. The dream.
right place, right time.
Right place, right time. And how long have you been here?
About 20 years.
Wow. That's longer than her head master's servant, from what I understand.
Yeah. Poor him.
Why do you say that?
Oh, he's getting on in years, and you know what do you do when you're too old to work? Like what assurances do you have moving on? He's gonna get too old to work, and she'll find somebody else. That's the way it happens.
She wouldn't take care of him?
I don't know. Do you think Astrid would?
I think Astrid would be willing to give him space in a back lot. The estate is massive.
Yes.
So she'd likely be willing to give a small space back there for him to live out his days.
Yeah, and he's like, well, but I mean, once you're done working, what's the point of life? Retirement? Sit around, wait to die?
Being bored?
Exactly.
Without a purpose, without any sort of fulfillment or justification for what you do. I mean,
And oh my, that's
We cut to
Yeah.
a quick shot of Percy happily sipping a whiskey and soda, and then we cut back to
and it's at this moment that the human comes up and goes, "Excuse me, sir. Terribly sorry, sir. I'm here to drop off the manure." And he goes, "Excellent, that's great. Take it to the back quarter if you don't mind." And he gets up to like go and help him. He's like, "I'm terribly sorry, Master Warren. I got to take care of this."
of course, I stopped the human.
Yeah. Human stops and is like, "What can I do for you, sir?"
Don't mind, you're dropping off a shipment of manure?
"Yes, sir."
Is how much?
"Oh, it's about 3 carts first, sir."
Okay. Was this ordered by him or
"Oh,
by
no,
her ladyship?
no, sir, no, sir." He takes out the acquisition. He's like, I spy her ladyship's seal.
Take it and look at it, and I can tell it. I'm sure it's new.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You just look at it and know that like the date on it and the way that it's done. This is very recent, maybe yesterday.
Okay.
Or if at the very earliest, early this morning.
Okay. Where's the manure at?
He goes, "Oh, sir. Over there, sir."
Thank you. And I'm gonna go investigate the manure.
Okay. While he's going out to investigate the manure, what are you guys doing? Marjorie, that's right, Marjorie. As you guys wait for Marjorie, where do you go and sit and wait for Marjorie?
I'm certain I have a favorite place in the gardens out back.
Where is it?
It's a gazebo near the center of a large rose garden.
Ooh, baby, can the gazebo be a gigantic flower? You grow a flower gazebo?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's got the perfect light as it filters down through the petals.
It's like Rose's garden in Steven Universe. Just a nice like.
So you guys are sitting there. Someone has brought you refreshments. Brought you whiskey soda and brought you drinks.
You've had a really long day.
Yeah. He's working. He's feeling the sweet sting of sweat in his brow.
And eventually, Omai brings you Marjorie. Marjorie is a dark blue Ifriti. She's got black horns that are off to the side. They come down to the side. They like yak horns. And she's blue colored, and she's got white hair. And she comes up and she's like, "Percy!
Margie, my dear, looking lovely as ever. Have I introduced you to my wife-to-be, Astrid Swent?
The one who's stealing you away from me, Percy? Oh, no, I haven't met her yet.
Oh my.
Hello.
Hello.
Tell me, have you ever seen a beauty as rare as hers?
Yes. No, I mean no, of course not.
Perhaps you saw one on the way in as you saw one of her many portraits.
Yes. Oh, and I must say that she does a wonderful job. You are, is it tree speaker? Is that what you do?
No.
No. Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
It's called a greens master.
Oh, you're the greens master. That's
all sorts of technical terms.
Yes.
But actually, technical terms and work, that's why we've rung you up, Margie.
Oh, is it? It's not
Yes.
a social call, is it?
I'm afraid not. Dreadfully, it is a business call, and you do know how I like to avoid those if I can.
Well, I'll work and no play.
Tell me, do you remember getting an invoice for a manure delivery?
Of course. For you, even, yes.
Do you remember which individual delivered it?
Oh, my. Let's see.
My butler.
No.
Thank goodness.
Oh, no, of course not. It was, I came in this morning to the office, obviously, and there it was. And I grabbed it and filled out it, and it was already at my office.
Really?
I would like to roll a notice to see if I know that she's lying.
Go for it.
That's terrible. I'd throw one of these at you to do it again.
Yes.
What's your notice skill?
1.
Okay.
That's a bit better.
And which aspect are you invoking for that?
For the extra.
Oh, I have to do it myself.
Ooh, yes, perfect.
Well done.
I've got a 3.
A 3.
What, is that a +1?
She is not
Then it's
lying.
That is 4? Okay.
She's not lying,
Okay.
but she is obviously holding something back. So she did find it this morning. She did make the acquisition, but she's holding something back.
Marjorie, was it?
Yes, of course. That's my name.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I've always liked it.
I do love the shade of blue you have there.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Quite nice.
Percy often says he loves it. Isn't that right, Percy?
Oh, yes, indeed. It is the perfect shade of blue to complement a perfect set of black horns.
Thank you, thank you.
Is it, Percy?
Well, there's no match for a set of delicate pink petals, my dear.
Is it, Percy?
I mean, definitely not.
Well,
Wait, I landed on your side. Hold the phone.
Hold the equivalent of the phone.
Hold the pixie. Hold the pixie. What I meant to say, Margie, I know that it must be dreadful to think through, but I cannot impress upon you how important it is that we get every small detail of this day's events. Anything that you may have noticed, don't be afraid to hold back. We need every bit of information we can gather.
well, let's see.
I'm going to roll a talk here.
Go for it.
I think this is a talk situation, and I'm using the art of geniality.
Ooh, +1 to that then.
All right, that is going to be a 3.
Ooh, okay. She goes, very well, Percy. I can't say no to you. All right, then. Well, like I said, I came in this morning. It was there. It was in the pixie box, obviously. It was brought by Pixie. And obviously was there since last night.
Since last night.
Well, yes. I close up shop at about 10, maybe 11. And there was nothing in there when I left.
In the evening.
In the evening,
I
yes.
see.
If it was delivered at night, that must mean that it couldn't have been made by your hands.
Absolutely not. I locked it away shortly before the party
Very
started.
sorry. Are you saying that you didn't send this?
I did not. Absolutely not. Do you see the shoddy stamp work on this? It is not my work. You should know by now. You've delivered many things to my estate.
Well, it just looked normal.
Did it?
I'm terribly sorry. I couldn't tell.
My goodness.
Come now, Margie. It does appear that Astrid is upset. She's overwhelmed. She's had quite a day,
Of course.
quite a night after the
course.
party and all, and the announcement. Thank you so much for coming around.
Of course, of course.
Thank you so much.
And do get your rest. And
I should like to give her a snippy remark and use my manners
Yeah.
please roll
to make her
manners.
regret this
Bury
day.
her. Bury her.
Ask the chat, Mel, if you need help.
Ask for what? Oh,
For a snippy.
please.
Yeah.
Please suggest a remark for
and
me.
it looks like it's going to be a
pretty
snippy.
good one too.
I've got 2 and manners is 3, so I have a +5.
+5 for a snippy comeback with your manners.
What do you have for me?
Don't hold back, darlings.
Don't hold back, not at all.
Nasty as you would like.
While we wait for them to come up with something, what you are.
Do you have something?
I do, kind of, but I want to see what the chat has.
Well,
Oh, they don't
we're
really-
going to be waiting
Yeah,
here.
okay.
He was
I
using
was
it
like-
as a device.
Oh, well, with you, something like, with you being coming here, this would be the second delivery of.
Yes!
That's
Work's got it.
yeah. I mistook to the delivery. Oh yeah, do it, baby.
I mistook delivery by the smell. I thought you were at my home personally.
So she finishes and says, "Do lie down."
Oh, my dear. I don't understand how that's structured.
Do what Justin said. Do what Justin said.
Yeah.
What did you
It's
say?
like you're like, oh well, I will, and or something like it's with you coming here. This is the second delivery of manure I had today,
Yeah.
but fancy it up a little bit.
Oh, thank you. I will lie down, but goodness, I just don't know what my groundskeeper will do with a second delivery of manure today.
Yes!
Percy just sips his drink.
Marjorie stands,
Ta-ta.
Good day. Percy? Good day. And she turns around and walks out. You guys are investigating the manure, or
I
you
was talking to the servants.
talking to the servant?
Yeah.
You haven't done anything, so please. You walk into the servants' dining center. So there's a lot of servants at this place. So it's like a Hogwarts-esque hall.
Sure, and one of my aspects is Servant Underground Network. I used to be the president of the High Society, the High Society gentle fairies who serve gentle beings.
Yes.
So as the ex-president, I know a lot of people around here at this
Are
establishment.
you looking for anybody in particular?
Gosh, so well, first I want to see whether or not my friend is here, whether or not Omai is around. Although I believe he just delivered Marjorie, so he might not actually be dining.
he's off doing stuff.
Taking advantage of the fact that he's not here, I want to ask some questions about his status here. I want to ask questions about him. I want to ask questions about Constance, and I want to ask questions generally about, you know how servants love to dish when,
Oh, yeah.
you know, about, I'm going to ask about the impending engagement, how they feel about that.
Drew is very familiar with servants.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Servants, dishing,
Yeah.
comes with them being servants.
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't do that one.
Do they dish while they dish?
Well, they have a lot on their plate, so
Of course.
got to get back in character.
Burke Mornship.
Burke Mornship.
Burke Mornchip. Burke Mornchip is a groomsman. And he is...
For cabs, not for...
Yeah, no groomsman of mine, I can assure you.
No, for caps. So he's there working. And he's eating lunch, and he's like, well, hello. Who's in Tearworth? Hello there, chaps. Please sit down.
A pleasure to see you as well.
Oh, it's a pleasure to see you too, my friend.
Sorry, what race is he?
Oh, he's a fairy. What kind is he?
May I?
Oh, please.
I sit down delicately and I say, you are looking in spectacularly good health.
Oh, thank you. It's a new suit.
Yes, the tie that I sent you is looking quite well.
Oh, thank you.
I'm afraid that I'm here not just to catch up, but there's a bit of unpleasantness, you must have heard.
Oh, indeed, her ladyship's marrying that twit.
Oh, he lets that go.
You're not working for him still, are you?
I'm afraid that I am very much still in Master Percy's employ.
I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean. He's a fine bloke. He's nice. He's got aspirations.
Master Percy is...
We return once again to another shot of Percy sipping from his drink.
and then we zoom back in on like Tearworth's head, and he's looking at him and he says, he is possessed of a number of fine qualities, sir.
Of course he is. I'm terribly sorry. But what can I do for you, Tearworth?
I'm not here to discuss Master Percy. I was wondering if I might bend your ear a bit about the events of last night.
Sure, Terry. Go for
it. Trying to regain his composure after you said that. Do I need to take stress again? I think I need to take stress again.
Take stress again, yeah.
Take stress again. And then I say, I was inquiring about my counterpart, Mr. Omai. Is he well liked amongst the in the feudal area?
Well, Mr. Omai's been here about 10 years.
Yes, that is what everyone says about him.
We like him. He's a good bloke. He runs a good ship. He's a bit lax here and there.
I had noticed.
Which, it's not bad. Get away with a bit of things.
My upper lip gets stiffer.
Not bad things. I'm just merely saying getting away with,
I'm sure I don't have any idea.
Of course, Terry. Yes, I understand. What else? But we like him. He's a good chap.
And the status of Mr. Omai after this engagement is completed?
Well, I can only imagine that her ladyship will give him a spot out in the graveyard.
Out in the graveyard?
Well, it's what we call the back corner over there. She's got 5 or 6 houses of all. There's a small village cropping up over there of people she's retired, called a graveyard. Go there, you die. Eventually.
Like, if my eyebrows could go higher than where my hair is, they would. And then I say, the graveyard. I'd like to inquire about Mr. Constance, the gardener, as well. Is he well liked in these quarters?
I'll say this. No matter what you say about her ladyship, we all love her. She's grand.
What would anyone have to say about her ladyship?
Nothing. You're absolutely right.
I would like to roll insight here.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you.
Ooh, that's good.
So that's 2 plus 6.
Man, yeah, she's
DM.
obviously holding back something. Obviously, they say something about her. But
I say, putting my hand on his shoulder, what's his name again?
oh, what was his name again?
Mornchip?
Mornchip, yeah. Burke Mornchip.
Mornchip, you and I are going to be family of a sort relatively soon. There's nothing that you can say to the other members of our joint estate that you cannot say to me.
Well, she's a bit of an orchid.
I am not up on gardener slang, so I guess I'll make a roll.
Yeah, make a manners. Make a manners.
Dope.
roll.
Okay. the most Chiefs things I've said all evening. Dope. Manners, and is there any?
Very good.
Well, that's still a +3.
Oh, it's still +3.
Yeah.
Um,
I can spend.
you,
thing.
you can spend a thing and make it a +2.
Okay. Boop.
What are you using for it?
I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Servant Underground Network here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The term orchid is specifically used for a high maintenance Sylvani. Any Sylvani who has to have their spring water exactly the way they want it. She needs to have this. She needs to have this thing and this thing. So she's a bit of an orchid. But we all love her, and she's grand, and it's very nice. But that Constance bloke, he's trouble. I'll say it right now. Absolute trouble. Eventually, the ladyship's going to wake up and understand that he wants what she's got.
So at this, Tearworth's eyebrows raise, and I guess the wipe is his eyebrows raising, and we cut to something else.
Right, swipe to you guys after Marjorie has left. Have you guys stayed in the gazebo, or have you moved on?
I think she'd want to move on. Not sure where, now that she's taken this on herself, because she has to do it herself. She's now decidedly walking around the property trying to figure out what could have happened to her seal.
Okay, roll me. Do you have investigate or a notice? Which?
Just notice.
Just notice. Roll me a notice. Percy, are you escorting the lady, I assume?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's no good. Should I roll it again?
If
Well,
you've
do I-
got-
if-
if-
One of these?
Yep. And you can use, I've got to do it myself.
Gotta do it myself. That's a bit
That's
better.
better.
So that does a +1?
Um,
Or just the...
just
one of
that,
the
because
notes.
you
Okay.
use that to re-roll.
So it's a 2.
A 2. What are you looking for specifically? Is there anything in particular, or?
Oh, goodness, I wouldn't even know. She knows that it's still on the property. I guess she's looking for something that looks suspicious to her, someone that looks like they have something to gain by stealing her stamp.
So as you're looking around, you come across what you know your servants call the graveyard. And it literally is a small hamlet. It's like this small village that is cropped up full of geriatric retired servants. And they're all here like tending their little gardens and growing their own little vegetables, and they have like their own little. It's literally a town that is built out of just old people.
Yo, Drew!
What's up?
I would like to invoke my trouble once
Okay.
more. So, I think one of the people that I see in this village full of old people is either a man or a woman. You decide. They do have fins, and it is because they have a red herring scale pattern.
Oh, perfect. Yes, there's a Nayani servant from a very low house. They are like all red scaled, and he is here, and he has a very tall fin, and he's sitting there at his door as he works. It's like a garden, but it's a water garden, and he's growing fish in there. So he's like out there feeding fish.
It's a fish farm.
It's a
He's
fish farm.
growing fish?
He has a fish farm. He's like,
He just
well, no, he's like put small fish in there and he's feeding them and he's raising them to eventually be eaten. And he's out there.
Tell me, darling, what is that one's name?
Herring.
Herring.
Yes, Harrington, perhaps. We just called him Herring.
And how did Harrington work on your estate?
He showed up as an assistant with another employee I brought in. And
An outside man. I believe we should have a word with this gentleman. No need to worry, darling. I'll do all the heavy lifting. So Percy confidently strides over, teal tie shining in the morning light. And he moves over. I say there, good sir. Herring.
Yes.
How long have you lived in this village?
Well, I've lived here for and he looks over and sees you. Oh, so sorry, madam, so sorry. And he gets down in the pond, like on his knees, and he's like, terribly sorry, doffs his hat, and as he doffs his hat, this large fin comes out. Terribly sorry, madam.
oh, Harrington, no, not necessary. Be comfortable. Have a seat.
And he takes his spectacles out of his coat and. Oh, Master Percy.
Yes.
I'm terribly sorry.
The very same, I'm afraid.
Yes, of course. I'm. Well, sir, I've lived here for 60 years, 70.
60 years, 70 years. And tell me, have you a penchant for taking a evening stroll?
Well, of course, sir. I love my evening strolls.
Really?
Of course. It's quite fun, actually. The walk about.
Yes. And I imagine a man of your tastes would appreciate walking about the gardens every now and then.
Well, of course, sir. The ladyship makes wonderful gardens. Why should I not walk about in them?
And where were you on the evening of last night?
evening of yester.
Well, sir, I'm gonna roll luck. Hold on. He immediately goes, good luck on your part. He goes, well, sir, I was walking about, obviously. I took an evening constitutional down by the house. I was going to see what sort of rubbish was on, and I thought maybe burglars had come to your house, madam. No, it was a party.
And why would you have thought that?
Well, I don't know. I came to my mind.
Just, yes, a strange thought to spring into one's mind unprompted.
As you're sitting there, he's like, "What?" He begins to stutter and back his way up. Is there a problem here? And you turn around.
And
and you see the biggest Ifriti you've ever seen. He's old. He's an old Ifriti.
Yeah.
But this used to be the head of your like personal guard.
Like the goon
course.
style
Yeah.
gentleman.
Something wrong here. He goes, madam. He's recently retired.
Very recently.
He's like, goodness, he's like 400 years old. And he's just recently retired, and he's graying in different places. And you'll see in Ifriti, when they get older, their limbs go cold, and they go darker. So he's got his sleeves rolled up, and he's up to his elbows in black. And he goes, I'm sorry, miss. What's going on here?
Will, chap, would you mind leaning in a bit? He conspiratorially like draws into this Ifriti.
Literally, you're like 6'6", so this dude's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And he literally like puts his hands on his knees and kind of goes down.
You've been living here a while, yes?
About a year, sir, yes.
You noticed anything fishy about this fellow?
You're talking about Harrington, sir.
Indeed.
The only fishy person I see around here, sir,
Indeed.
would be you.
What?
I don't appreciate people coming in and grilling some of the older geriatrics, sir.
Now, I say that is no way to talk to someone who is about to be co-owner of your estate.
About, but not yet, sir. I shall just give you a bit of butter and lemon for him. Is that what you like?
There has been a very serious theft on this premises.
There's been a theft, man? And he like
Yes.
straightens up. He's huge, massive. And he's like, there's been a theft, man?
Yes, Damon. Unfortunately, as you so guarded before, my seal has been stolen.
I'm terribly sorry, man. Sorry to
And
hear
you
that.
would do well to tell us anything you may have noticed.
Nothing from last night.
Nothing at all.
No. We all get over to at the pub. We have a nice evening. Go to
pub.
bed early. And he looks up. There's literally a pub. They've built a pub back here. It's this tiny little old person village.
I'd like to say that sometimes I go back there and get drinks with them.
Oh, that's great. He's like, you know very well, madam. We like to have our drinks. We had some
Yes.
drinks and we went to bed early.
Approximately what time would you say? If you had to guess.
If I had to guess, takes out his pocket watch. I say I went to bed about 9.
Around the time then nothing less than the crime of the century took place on these very grounds.
Very well then, I will accept that. I'm sorry, man. That's all I have. Are you all right, Harrington? He's like kind of sputtering and he's like reached over and got his like as you were pushing him against the wall, he reached over and like got a cane and
And like kind of like
like wibbling back and forth. He's like, "Are you all right, Harrington?" I'm all right. Then.
Can you account that everyone here was indeed all accounted for in the village?
I can, ma'am.
Very well.
I'll vouch for everybody here if I have to.
I take his word. It's one of my most loyal subjects before retirement.
Well, if you take his word, then his word is good enough for me. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. And thank you.
That look.
He says, eyeing Harrington
Harrington is like,
backing away.
I go back to feeding my fish flour.
Is there anything I notice about Damon or the other people that probably gathered while we were having this conversation?
Oh, while you're getting this conversation, yeah, there's about 40 to 50 people that live in this little village.
How did it get so big?
People live a long time.
I think you prune. like your head butler has only been with you for a decade, which is like
old already.
a short amount of time.
You like geriatrics. Like you bring in old people.
You'd like to
Cute.
Yeah, I think if people, like, because only people with vast amounts of experience could possibly work on your estate.
That's true.
And those who are young usually, like, move on quickly or cycled to different careers. And so you're just, like, constantly adjusting the staff like you would be adjusting your gardens.
Okay.
That's great. I love that. But they turn around and go back, and Harrington goes back to like putting out his fish, and Damon just stands there at like the entrance of this little village, and like watches you guys go.
So you're saying they're finished with Harrington?
Yes, they're finished now.
He's a slippery fellow.
You had to scale back the questioning.
I didn't even realize the grill thing. I was like, you're grilling him. I was like, why don't you give him some butter and lemon?
It's
for it?
quite a story hook.
Now I'm just fishing.
Now just
We're reeling him in slowly.
look, we've gotten too deep, guys. Let's just pool ourselves back together here. And
I think we would be best to release this and move on.
Allie
All
will
right.
remember you said that.
look, she schooled us all, so let's just keep going.
There's a tuna information going on right now.
All right.
We should rise to the bait.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we go to the pub, do you think? Just to check in and verify some stories.
Darling, I could not have thought it better myself.
So
You'll get whale of a tail. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
so having finished talking to my
Burke, yeah.
to Burke, I'm going to head back to the inspector, and I'm going to fix him a drink, and I'm going to tell him pretty much everything.
Awesome. As you're inspecting the manure.
I'll leave out.
I'm going to inspect him here just for the halibut.
Yeah. Okay. How are you inspecting the manure? Like,
Does it seem suspicious? Because there's
I mean, it's 3 carts full of shit. It's a. Roll me a. Do you have resources?
no.
Do you have contacts?
Yes.
Roll me a contacts.
Can I assist him?
Yeah, sure.
How do I?
So it's just going to be a +2.
Okay,
So like
cool.
if you give me one of those, it'll just be like a +2 to him.
Nice.
So that is a 4-6.
6, man. Okay, what are you looking for in particular? I mean, here's what you get out of this. 1, this is high grade fertilizer. Like really, it's even like magic.
top
This
notch
is
shit.
the good shit.
This is the good shit.
I'm sorry. I promise.
All right.
Just gonna throw my hat.
Minstiff. All right. So it's
We've been scattered this whole episode.
it's been it's very good fertilizer. It's high grade. It's even got magical bits thrown into it a little bit to continue. Come on, let me get through this. It's from House Serene itself. It's suspicious that it came out of nowhere, that it got here so quickly even. Because from talking to the guy, you get that like he got the acquisition report from Marjorie this morning. He came into work. This was the first job he was supposed to do.
And then it was very quickly filled.
It was very quickly filled.
And how long did it take to get here?
I mean, by now it's about like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
So it's taken like a good portion of the day.
I want to inspect it with Arcanica to see if there's like some sort of...
Something hidden in here?
Yeah.
Sure.
That is a... you know what, let's do it again. I'm going to Freddy Warden. That is a 5.
A 5. As you go through it, it has a magical property to it, but it's got like earth magic woven into it to help things grow within it. But you don't find any like high-powered magical auras going on.
Okay. Well, That's shot my theory. Okay. You're here with me right now? Okay. What is this drink, by the way? This is lovely.
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to divulge, sir.
The drink?
It's trade secret, sir.
Ah, I understand. What do you call it?
I call it Mr. Wooshire's Last Hope.
Mr. Worships. Well, he has impeccable taste. He's lucky to have you.
In some things, sir.
A shot once more. Horrible tie.
I mean, we cut to you just like having like feeling it, just like, and you bustle the tie. I want to go investigate the area that he's talking about. Where the Constance, the area that he is investigating. That this is, I'm sure, like this is all this.
So if I deliver you the info, basically we know that Constance is a person of interest, that the rest of the servants are suspicious of him, and we know that like the butler, for example, doesn't have a lot of prospects, but we don't necessarily think would be the kind of person who would put all this together. We also think that like maybe someone pretty high up who has it out for her ladyship might have put this together because they're the people who could make the courier like make that rush delivery happen.
And I want to actually, you know what? Constance is not at his house anymore. I want to go investigate his house.
Oh, okay.
He's not there anymore. He's not on his grounds.
Okay, so you go to Constance's house because he's out in his quarter, like working on.
Yeah, he's working on something.
Romeo and Arcana can open up the door.
That's a 3.
Okay. Oh,
Wow.
yeah. He's shit at that kind of magic. And you basically go up, do the sacred geometry on it, and there's that.
Is he suspiciously bad at it?
I mean, he's bad at it. Like
Because if I'm
you basically you were able to draw like a single circle and do it.
Because if I'm suspecting him from breaking into that very complicated seal, he probably, if he had a very complicated seal in his own door, then suspicious.
No,
But if he has
it's
a
incredibly simple.
incredibly simple, also suspicious. So I go inside. What is it? What's his hovel? Is it a cottage? Is
It's
it
a small
shack?
cottage. It's like a 2-room place. There's like a single room that's like a sitting room with like a little like stove in it as well. And there's like a little dining room over there, and then there's a bedroom, and that's it.
I'm gonna do I'm gonna roll an Arcana to see if there's.
You're there too.
Yeah,
Tearworth.
I'll investigate in a mundane way.
You roll investigate in mundane. You investigate with Arcanica.
Oh wait, I don't have investigate.
That is a 6. I'm checking for anything magically suspicious.
Cool. What do you?
I don't have investigate.
Magically suspicious.
I have insight.
Oh, roll me an insight.
Cool. And I'll use the art of psychology on this.
Cool.
Figure out what kind of man this is.
Oh, that's a
Dang.
good roll.
For 8.
8. Okay, so you got like
Dang.
a 6.
I got a 6.
So you guys Sherlock this place, and because you walk in, and you
Things
like,
of text start appearing next to our heads.
you both walk in.
I can't stop.
Look around and go, yeah.
Buddy.
So both of you look at each other, and at
One
the
man
exact
can have
same
all that
time,
power.
you say he did it, and you say he didn't do it, and like at the same time, you guys say that because you find it there in his room.
You say he didn't do it, and I say the gentleman is innocent at the same time.
at the exact same time.
Oh, so we say the same thing?
No, you say
No, we
you
say the opposite thing.
Yeah, so I
too.
say he did it, you say he didn't.
Yeah, because you find the seal.
I find the seal.
It is in a flower pot in his room. Oh no, it is underneath his bed in his room.
Okay.
And you find it, but you, going over everything in this room, this guy could not have done this.
He's a simple man.
He's a very simple person.
Yeah.
This is, like, all the magic that he has in here is very simple. There's no way he could have broken it. And just the way that he sets up his house is incredible. There is no intricacy to any of this. No person like this could have pulled off this plot.
Yeah. As the serials my employer is so fond of watching would say, I believe this man was framed.
Okay. Why do you suggest that? Based upon the evidence that I have, and of course, I could be wrong, but we have an animosity, we have a motive. we have the actual seal on his possession. Why do you think he is innocent?
Based on my conversations with the other members of the household and my own study of his, we'll call it charitably simplicity, I don't believe that he would be capable of such a plot. And I believe that someone with more resources and intellect may be working with him, but is using him as a convenient, his lordship would say, patsy in this case.
So you're saying that this was planted here?
Continue.
I can't smile at that, but...
Laughing. No one's laughing, Justin.
Oh, I'm laughing really hard. I just can't tell.
I'm laughing. That'd do it for me.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there
He's made
anyone?
so many puns.
So, who would have the wherewithal to put this here? Obviously, we have someone that there. Would it be a fellow servant, someone else that would know that he has aspirations for grandeur? He thinks he has larger dreams. He doesn't want to. He aspires for greatness, and he's not getting that here.
I
an obvious.
I believe that in conjunction with the deception that I caused earlier, such a person likely planted the seal on Mr. Gardner's estate relatively recently, after I seeded the information, didn't do that on purpose, that the seal was likely to explode if removed from the estate. What we need to do is discover who was seen entering Mr. Gardner's estate within the last couple of hours, and then we will have our culprit.
Is there a way for us to do that?
Do it again. I'm sorry.
To see who came into this apartment.
And returned the seal to his apartment in the last few hours.
In the last few hours, roll me an Arcanica.
And we're almost done.
And you can help out too.
Yeah, I want to help out. How can I help out?
I mean, that's a 3. But if you want to help out,
I have no.
I would like to help, actually,
Perfect.
because
Because I feel like you guys are on your
for
way here.
the time, for the time that they didn't have eyes on it, I was wandering around the garden, looking around, nodding at things, and shaking my head at things. So I must have seen whatever happened.
Okay. All right.
So,
Yeah.
So it depends entirely on this Lush's ability to
Yeah.
keep his wits about him.
In this moment. Okay.
All of Warda despairs.
No, yeah. You, so I'm going to say that you two show up to the cottage as this is happening. So you come in and Embrilar has your seal in his hands. And they're discussing stuff. They're speaking to each other animatedly. And you are framed in the doorway. What do you do?
You found it!
that we have, your ladyship. Yes,
Here!
here in Constance's cabin. Yes. However, we believe he may have been framed.
Framed.
Wait. No. This is not the right setting at all.
Cut to where is the...
Oh, we got to go to the parlor.
Yep.
I got to make drinks.
Everyone is here.
All of the servants.
So you cut and everybody is here. Marjorie's here. The human courier is here. Constance is here. Harrington is here.
Damon is here.
Damon is here. Omai is here. And,
Omai.
and all of you are
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I walk up to her ladyship and I say, I'm terribly sorry, madam. You must have noticed that your affianced has a flair for the dramatic.
He certainly has.
And what got sent over was not the hunting cap that I had envisioned, but it was
Is it worse?
No. It was a ivory fedora that matches like the rest of the outfit
Oh, thank
very
goodness.
well, with a lavender hat strap.
Very
Can I
nice.
erase the stress?
Yes.
That
being
would match the right tie should I have access to it.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. And you get that hat just as you're about to start speaking. Like your fairy rectitude?
Yes.
Your rectitude comes in with the hat
Thank
and gives it to you.
I was afraid that there would be decency here today.
Ladies and gentle fae, upon these grounds, a most distressing burglary took place. However, keen minds have looked into it with keen investigative instincts, and we have discovered the true culprit. And he, of course, points to Herring.
And then I move his hand.
You move the hand.
And who am I moving it to?
To
You move it over to
what?
you move it over to her ladyship.
But I said culprit, not victim.
I'm just trying to think. That's the best course of action for it. Actually, you.
You want me to do this?
No, just point out the person.
Oh, okay. So we've got Marjorie. We've got, okay. All right. Can you point again? And then I put your hands in your pockets.
What?
I'm afraid, sir, that the true culprit is not present in this room.
Good heavens, I thought you meant my trousers. It's made away with the Dare's own seal.
No, I would have pointed at a different article of clothing, I assure you.
As he points, he's like, "It's not in this room," and the doors open, and one of the servants brings in the topiary that you were speaking to the night before. Brings it in and sets it down, and goes, "I'm not entirely sure." And Bert goes, "What was that for? I'm not entirely sure." I'm just trying. It's really interesting because in this moment, there's a lot of things to like bring back together. So what it is, and what you guys get from this big reveal of what happened here, brings in the topiary, and everyone's sitting there looking at it quizzically, and then Constance stands up and goes, "I'm sorry. What is with the topiary? I mean." That's the last topiary I worked on last night, but why did you bring it in here? And do you mind if I take over?
No, go for it.
Okay. And so, Tearworth, you sit there and you look at this topiary, and you say, "Yes, that is the topiary." And you reach into your pocket and you pull out one of the garden game sticks, and you hold it up to her ladyship's seal, and they look almost identical. And you guys basically, as you guys talk out the scene, because we are out of time. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
As you guys go through the scene and everything like that, you basically get the understanding that you had the seal last night, and you were going to put it away, but forgot. Like somebody came
Impossible.
Somebody came in with something very urgent. You were like, "Oh, fine," and so you put it there. And Connor came through, and Constance. Constance came through and didn't know what it was. He's never seen your seal before, because so he thought it was one of the sticks, and so he took it out, and. No, it wasn't him. It was one of the guests came in and thought that's what it was. And
What if it was Percy?
Oh, Percy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Percy's never seen the seal.
Percy's like, what's this lawn game doing in here?
And so you took it and went into the main room to go ask somebody, but then got into this conversation with this topiary, and
Well, I say, you are quite rude.
And you're like,
you will not find yourself invited back to this estate in some time, and you can have my name to back that up.
And you were like, "You take care of this," and you gave it to the topiary. To which then Constance...
Is your problem.
Constance...
Well, it can't be Constance. Constance was framed.
He was
We
frightened.
do know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so somebody else found it and thought it was the lawn game. And so went out to go to put it away in the lawn game, but found that all of those were there. And so brought it back and set it on the desk again. At which point,
It wouldn't be in the desk.
no, not on the desk, and not like it. Basically, they brought it back to the house and set it down.
That was a set of footprints.
That was the set of footprints that went out and back. And then
So now the manure order.
now, but the manure order, a drunk patron of your party, Fennel, came in, completely smashed with Embrilar, and the two of them were like, it'd be really funny if we made an order for a ton of manure, and they made this sloppy order for a bunch of manure.
Because Fennel was annoyed at the engagement anyway.
She was annoyed at the engagement.
This is our engagement present.
Here's our engagement present: 3 carts of
Shit.
piles of shit. And so you guys were super drunk, and you took that. You had the seal, and you guys went out into the garden and dropped it. Which is, you were going around the garden, like looking, you found more footprints, things that you found, like a cup that they had.
This garden game, again misplaced. This estate is in a dreadful place. I know. And Percy walks over to past Constance Gardner, to the hut that was pointed out to him earlier, and puts it on his bedside table and goes, "I've got your back. That's right. The high class and common man sticking together. That's what the world should be."
And turns around and comes back, and Constance, as he goes in, he just knocks it over on accident, and it falls underneath the bed. And that is the mystery. And everyone's it's this long montage of doing different things back and forth. We see this part and this part and this
Me
part.
and Fennel looking really embarrassed that we don't
really
remember this at all.
embarrassed between the two of you, and it pans around the room, and eventually it lands on Lady Swent.
Percy,
Yes, my dear.
you are a level of distress that I simply cannot handle.
Everyone,
Now then, Astrid, my dear,
I'm
there's
quite
no...
finished with you. Please leave my estate.
I see. Well, then, if that's how you feel, I shall take my leave at once.
Yes, I can see no other way than to complete my work by myself, without bumbling fools.
Of course.
Can we cut to the cab on the way back?
yes.
And so you're
Despondent again. Just sitting, watching the countryside roll by as we make our way back to our home district, which is, what is our home district?
which is 2 blocks away from where we were.
Well, we got to go to the teleporter,
Right.
which will take us a couple blocks away,
Yeah.
and then drive the 1 block to our estate.
If I had to hazard a guess, you probably, if you were to take just a carriage ride, it'd probably be 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But
We need to take the teleporter.
we have to take a I insist upon a teleporter.
Yes.
You know, perhaps it wasn't meant to be after all, old chap.
I cannot agree more, sir.
I'm haunted by so many sweet and painful memories.
Indeed, sir.
You know, I find that what with all the painful memories, suddenly this tide does me no good. It's steeped, you know, steeped in wanting, steeped in happier times.
The tie's reach does seem to exceed its grasp, sir.
Well, then, I perhaps am a good match for this tie, and like myself, it must be thrown out. And he dramatically takes off the tie and flings it from the vehicle as it pulls up in front of the place where his flat is.
So Tearworth looks over at the window, sees the tie in the alley, and we go down there. And then he turns around and straightens a bit and says, "She would have been most unsuitable for you, sir."
Who? I say, fetch me that lavender number. The one that was showed to me this morning. I quite like it.
As I start straightening your tie and putting it on, I turn to you and say, "Did you have occasion to visit the graveyard, sir?"
I believe I did.
So you know it was where Mistress Astrid put her servants who were too old to work.
Indeed, yes.
And what do you suppose would have happened to you, sir, once she discovered that you were constitutionally incapable of work?
Well, I suppose, and he has a vision of himself sitting next to that Ifrit, that terrifying Ifrit all day. I suppose that I'm better off. Better off where I am.
I dare say that you'll find someone else who may give you her seal of approval.
Carry on, Tearworth. Carry on.
I think that's a great ending. I think that's a great place to end it. Hey guys, thank you so much for being here for our last Warda glimpses and taking this last glimpse into Warda. We will catch you on the podcast. You have something to say, Allie?
Oh yeah, I have something to say. Thank you, James, Pranks, Justin, and Mel. Thank you guys for being a part of this game tonight. Thank you to everybody who tuned into the chat for the first time. Thank you to everybody who tuned into the chat for every time. And thank you to those of you who have joined the Patreon and are supporting us and helping us do bigger and better things. Especially shouting out to Rourke and Robin, who upped their pledges tonight. Shouting out to Frank, Eric, and Sunaro, who joined the Patreon tonight. Guys, we're at 305.
Congratulations!
That absolutely means that Winds of Change is going to happen.
Winds of Change will be hitting the Patreon soon. Very, very soon. It's going to come to the Patreon first, and then it will be released in chronological order with the podcast as it connects up with the timeline. But you guys made it happen. Thank you guys so much. We really can't thank you enough. And what this also means, because of your continuing support, is we'll be able to bring you more merch at some point here. And also we'll be able to put money into buying better equipment for the podcast and setting up our own stream. So you've set us on that path. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Oh man, and thank you guys. That was a lot of fun. That was so much fun.
This was incredible.
Oh man, thank you for being part of Warda. It's great, and I don't want it to end, but we gotta end. We gotta finish this out. Is there plugs? Plugs real quick. Plugs. You want to plug anything?
Plugs. Go follow @GetHypePod on Twitter. It's coming out very soon.
Plug.
If you're in the Chicagoland area, please come see Klingon Christmas Carol starting December 1st. We speak all Klingon.
Klingon Mach.
I guess check out Adventure at adventure_OSN on the One Shot Network and Never Tell Me the Pods at nevertellmethepods.com.
And check out the One Shot Podcast over at oneshotpodcast.com and Campaign and all the other wonderful things that we do.
And this Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, we are going to be right back here on this stream, back into the Tomb of Annihilation as we try to finish up and kill Asscrack. Yeah. And guys, it has been a blast, and we will catch you very soon. Have a good night, citizens.